defender's on top of the receiver, puts it on the back shoulder, and
I gotta make sure.
again, there's a lot of good things in the tape, some things he's got to work on. Biggest thing is don't turn the ball over and don't try to do too much. You do too much early, you fall behind, you're playing from behind. It just makes it a tough day. Whether it's in college football at USC or in the NFL.
Well, a lot of college guys, I think, are putting a weight of the team on their back and making some reckless plays. You assume and you hope that he'll be able to eliminate those. Mad Mel, I heard you get a little bit mad about some of the things he was saying. What's that all about?
Well, yeah, I believe Caleb Williams is the best player I've ever evaluated.
Ever?
In my 42 years of doing this, he's the best player I've ever evaluated. Kind of look at him. I know Bill said Russell Wilson. I think that's a pretty good comp.
But yeah, Caleb Williams to the Bears. That was obvious.
Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. So if you put those two guys together,
That's a
I
good
think
player.
exactly.
Have to take him.
Pretty good player. I do agree with Bill a little bit about him. Carrying the ball around like a loaf of bread, trying to break 8 tackles, running 45 yards, behind the line of scrimmage, and then trying to throw a 140-yard touchdown. I don't know if that's going to work in the NFL, but I think one of the reasons everybody loves him so much is because he plays Hollywood. Okay. Now, he's leaving Hollywood, but he's still got to play Hollywood in Chicago in order to be successful in the NFL.
Well, I think Bill said the exact opposite of that. He just needs to make consistent plays for his team in Chicago. And we assume with the amount of talent he has and the humility we've seen and learned about him over like the last few months, he was kind of a mysterious figure that we didn't know much about. We just heard from his team and his team and his team.
This is ESPN, right?
We had to meet him last night. Cleaned up.
Great.
Gentlemen.
Good fit.
And everything he's done since the senior year is ended, junior year has ended, has been like Noble, a guy who's ready to lead a franchise club.
Yeah, and we mentioned the pro day, how he was, wrangling his friends and, messing around. That was great. Also, no haircut. I thought that was a big deal. Hey, this guy's so locked in. He's not going to do a clean fade for his pro day. He doesn't care about how he looks. He cares how he plays ball. And then at the end of the day, that's all that really matters when it comes to the number 1 overall pick.
The pick is in
for the Commanders.
The pick is in for the Washington Commanders.
We saw him play. He did a lot of magical shit. If he can do that in the NFL, he's great.
Yeah, I think he'll continue to do that. And you want to see him.
The pick is in. What's going on? What's going on?
They just make the right play over and over and over. And when they have to be special, they will be special. And I think he obviously has that Patrick Mahomes ability. That's kind of the new archetype for this new age of quarterback going forward. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, kind of hybrid. And you see Mahomes, he can make the on-schedule plays, but when he has to be special and kind of uplift his team and make that one extra play, I think he's done that.
But one of the special things about Pat, though, is he sat with Alex Smith for a year.
Oh, yeah.
He learned a lot. When he stepped in and played,
Spoiled.
there weren't a lot of bad plays from Mahomes.
Yeah.
And so, whether you play or don't play, whenever you get that chance to play, you just got to be consistent.
Absolutely.
Washington Commanders pick is in. Everybody assumes this is Jaden Daniels.
2024 NFL Draft. The Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
God damn it.
Quarterback.
I'm sad.
Good call.
But it is what it is.
Jaden Daniels going to the Commanders. This was kind of locked in. Then there was discussion with some odds because Jaden Daniels' agent potentially wanted him to go play elsewhere, and he sucked at golf at Top Golf and everything like that. Inevitably, this is who a lot of people had as the second best quarterback in this draft class. Alex Peters. Adam Peters, new GM for Washington, gets his quarterback.
I'm kind of bummed out, but it is what it is, guys.
Jaden, and how do you think Peters, a guy who used to work with you,
Yes, he
did here? Is this the smart play, the right decision, and how do you think they got here?
Well, again, I think this is a little similar to the Caleb Williams conversation. I think that that Jaden has a good opportunity to be an outstanding player, and he showed that this year. He won the Heisman Trophy, and he had a lot of great plays. I think for him, a lot of his throws come outside the numbers. He's very fast. He's an excellent runner and scrambler. I think he's going to have to learn to stay in the pocket and read coverages and throw the ball, but he's capable of doing that.
He's got a weird elbow, though, Mad Mel.
Yeah, it almost looks like he has 3 elbows, which is kind of
Damn, what a
concern,
fucking
but,
bummer,
my,
bro.
My favorite thing about Jaden Daniels, a lot of people don't talk about poise under pressure. Everyone knows. Brian Kelly is an absolute fucking maniac, yelling in guys' faces until his face turns bright red. And Jaden Daniels never missed a beat, okay? Never missed a beat. Never let that get to him. He kind of compartmentalized all that and won the Heisman Trophy. I love this pick for Washington if his elbow doesn't explode within the next 5 years.
Let's look at some tape to see what the Washington Commanders are getting for Jaden Daniels and what it could look like in the future. Let's go to Bill Belichick's big breakdown with Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU. 6'4", big, 210.
Whoa.
Great leader. His teammates really play for him here. He's got a really good touch. Again, a lot of these throws are typical. They're going to come outside the numbers, and it seems like that's where he's most comfortable throwing the ball. you know, this is an example down here with kind of the touch. This is Neighbors at the bottom. He's got single coverage, and Jaden just doesn't put the ball out there high enough, and you know, Neighbors doesn't really have a shot at it. So his touch, and I would say, you know, inside the numbers, he has great receivers. Neighbors, Taylor, who's going to be a high pick next year, Thomas. He's got some good guys to throw to, and this is, again, another really good throw on the perimeter. This kid's got a good arm. I worked him out last year. He was at the LSU Pro Day a year ago working out those receivers, and this kid can make all the throws. You can see he's really fast here. He's sometimes, I think, a little too quick to pull the ball down, but when he does pull the ball down, he usually runs,
smack
and
you
he's going
up
to have
if
to
you
learn
say
to
that
get his eyes
again.
downfield.
Don't say that.
You know, these are the ones you got to hit here. He's got an open receiver. He's got plenty of time in the pocket. And again, these are the mechanics that we talked about a little earlier in the show.
He'll get better at that.
Yeah, we got to make those.
¿Quién se cree esa
But
cabrona?
really, really accurate.
Te apuesto que
outside
también
the
lo prendió
numbers. Got,
allá en
like I
el
said, a
pinche
really
ballet.
good arm, gives the receiver a chance to, you know, run with some extra yards for the ball here with a good throw, good accurate throw. We don't want to do this.
Forget about it.
Jaden, forget
Eso
about
sí,
this.
también tienes razón.
This is not
Forget
what we're going
about
to sign
this.
up for as a commander.
Probably
No,
learning it.
we don't want to do this. We don't want to run up here and try to hurdle into the. I mean,
Oh,
forget that.
jeez.
Right into
One
Jordan
right on the
Davis.
chin.
Every teammate will let you know about that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's not do
But
that.
do you give him credit for being a tough guy and not
No doubt.
Biden?
He is a tough kid. Yeah, he's a tough kid. This is another, you know, dangerous throw here. I don't think this is really, you know, necessary. Comes on the backside. Lucky he didn't get it picked off by the corner. So, again, a kid that really has a lot of talent here. If you design the running plays for him, I mean, this guy can kill you. I think that if I were coaching against him, I would have some kind of a spy on him and make sure that he didn't beat us running and didn't beat us, you know, with throws outside of numbers. And then I think he'll eventually get better and be able to attack the middle of the field. But that's something he's going to have to work on.
Full sellout here from Jared Verse, who we know is a stud.
Yeah, Verse he almost caught him there. I mean, that was we'll talk about Verse later, I'm sure. You know, again, good timing play. He can get it out on time. You know, 6'4". You know, you like this guy who has
And
this kind of
this whole
vision.
draft analysis by Bill
this
Belichick
play,
is awesome.
Foxy, if you hit that back
Awesome,
for a second.
awesome.
Foxy.
He don't need to be a coach. He needs to be our coach.
Down here at the bottom, Florida State's 3-on-2 on this empty formation, and Florida State's 3-on-3 on top against the bunch there. So this read really should be at the top of the screen where the 3-on-3 is.
Yep.
And Neighbors is going to come open on this, but, you know, Jaden's working where he's outnumbered down here and, you know, misses an open receiver there.
Yeah, I think with all these guys, what we're going to learn throughout the evening is there's a chance that there's going to be some great, then there's going to be some misses, but we're going to continue to see them hopefully grow into being the leaders. Like Washington Commanders, brand new ownership, brand new GM, brand new era. Jaden Daniels now is going to be the face of that. Good luck to him. The Patriots also staring down a brand new era because obviously the man who had been in their draft room, their war room, making decisions for 24 years,
Yeah.
24 years is now
Long time.
joining us.
Yeah.
Third overall pick. From what I've been told, the pick is in.
Whoa.
The internet is reporting that the pick is in. And Boston Connor
Wow.
nationwide is
Drake
on
May.
our side.
I say Drake
May is going to be on
No way.
New England Patriots side.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We saw a tweet from Albert Breer that reported on the internet that Drake May will be selected by the Patriots with the
Definitely
third
Drake May. They
overall
should
pick.
pick up
There
Drake
was
May.
some chatter, Connor.
Go with
that
your
maybe they would
quarterback,
trade
guys.
Out of there, you
Yeah.
know,
If you're
maybe
lucky
get some
enough to
more
go with
picks
your quarterback,
continue
go
to
with your
build on.
quarterback.
You get the quarterback of the future in Drake May. How zeked are you, pal?
I'm very zeked. I mean, the conversation around the Patriots trading out was asinine. If that happened, I think there'd be even more riots than when the dynasty first came out. But having a guy at 3 was something that we couldn't even dream of for 24 years because the greatest coach and GM of all time always had us hanging around at 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. And that's where you want to be. You want to win Super Bowls, obviously. And it feels like Drake May. He's a big son of a bitch, first of all. We saw him in the lobby last night.
Family.
First of all, yeah, he's sweating last night because he's not out enjoying this time. No, he's working. He's at the court. He posted on his Instagram. Great Instagram follow. I would do it if I were you guys. He's shooting shots. I mean, look at the style. Look at the smile. Look at the baby blue tie. There's really nothing that you can't not love about Drake May. I can't wait to hear about what Bill Belichick says about his film, I heard it's flawless. I heard every single part of his game is perfect. He can come in right away. He can win you a Super Bowl in the first year. Realistically, though, it's going to take time, obviously. You know, that is something. We have Jacoby Brissett now brought him in to be that bridge quarterback. Very understood from Jacoby as well. Couldn't be more excited about this.
Bill, obviously, a third overall pick is something that no coach or GM ever wants to have happen. New era up there. How are you feeling right now watching that happen with the team that obviously you are so synonymous with? And what do you think about the player that they took in this new era?
I think that's certainly a top need for him. It's quarterback, tackle, and wide receiver, and so you know this is one of the top needs. You know, Drake compares himself a lot to Josh Allen. He has been doing that for quite a while. We'll see about that. I think there are some similarities in terms of you know size and athleticism. But Josh Allen's a pretty special player now. So
yeah, but it's draft season media. This is what happens.
Come on.
He's tall, he's white, he can run.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's Josh Allen, that whole thing. But watching the Patriots pick up a quarterback and enter this new era, what should we think about with the film, and what did you see from watching him play? Let's go to Bill Belichick's big breakdown.
Hell yeah.
Well, again, a very talented kid, good size, runs well, has a good arm. Just he hasn't played very much. He really doesn't have a lot of experience, and he makes some big plays like this. This is an amazing play where he kind of throws going backwards, puts the ball right on the money. Whoa. And those are the highlight plays that you really like from May. You know, this is one where he just doesn't really finish the play. You know, he's got, you know, double coverage here on the slot receiver. He's got guys open inside and outside and just throws it into double coverage. So, again, he's going to need some work in reading defenses, reading coverages.
He comes with reps.
He's quick to come off the receiver here. If he frees it right there, Foxy, just back a little bit.
Not a bad Foxy.
You know, like right here in the middle, like this.
Play.
Just a little bit right there. That's as open as they're going to get in the NFL, but I'm just telling you, like, they're not going to get open by like 8 yards in the NFL, so just you got to deliver it in there. He's kind of quick to bail out of the pocket, and, you know, he's going to have to hang in there a little bit longer, I think, and find those receivers. This is a really good throw here he makes. This is, you know, the in cut here. He really drives the ball. That's a nice play. This is a kid that can make all the throws. He just needs to be more consistent. Here's another one where he's, you know, should just stay in the pocket. He doesn't have any pressure. Just stay in the pocket and, you know, take his reads and scrambles out early. Then he throws the ball late and almost gets it picked off. So transitioning from a college quarterback to a pro quarterback here is, you know, he just needs some time and experience. Here's a late throw over here. Wiggins picks it off.
Can't have it.
You don't want
That's
to do
going to
that.
happen.
Can't have it.
Yeah, that's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Route was supposed to come back to the quarterback, I heard.
You know, again, kind of open receivers down here. We gotta hit them. And again, kind of I'd say too quick to scramble and get out of the pocket. Of all the quarterbacks, he was the lowest rated in the pocket thrower. But you can see right here, he can definitely do it. That's a good throw against cover two. On that corner route behind the corner. So,
freak athlete. Led UNC in rushing 2 years ago.
Boom.
And whenever you think about the overall Drake May story, you're thinking about the ceiling that's possible, because you even said not a lot of football he's played. You golfed with him one round when you were out in Vegas, and you came in the next day, you're like, that's my number one overall pick. We saw his drunk uncle last night. It seems like they're all there. Drake's going to be a guy that the locker room likes immediately.
Immediately. Day one when he walks in the locker room, he'll be a great team guy. You mentioned it. At the top of this draft, all these guys are very, very talented. How well they be coached? Jacoby Brissett being behind him, being in the same quarterback room with him, that'll be awesome. Obviously, Mayo, this has been his first pick in the new era. I'm excited for him getting his quarterback. But yeah, I think this is honestly, up at this part of the draft, probably the biggest wild card in the draft. He can be a Hall of Famer, or he can be a guy that doesn't work out. But he has all the tools. He's like built. If you built a quarterback on Madden, he'll be kind of the prototype. You'll build it around
Drake May.
Like Bill said, you got to fix those easy things.
We got time with you.
I missed
Create
it.
your own pressure in the league. If you got a pocket,
he hasn't played very much. He really doesn't have a lot of experience, and he makes some big plays like this. This is an amazing play where he kind of throws going backwards, puts the ball right on the money. And those are the highlight plays that you really like from May. You know, this is one where he just doesn't really finish the play. You know, he's got, you know, double coverage here on the slot receiver. He's got guys open inside and outside and just throws it into double coverage. So again, he's going to need some work in reading defenses, reading coverages. He
comes with reps.
He's quick to come off the receiver here. If he frees it right there, Foxy, just back a little bit.
Not a bad Fox. Hey,
like right here in the middle, like this.
Play.
Just a little bit right there. That's as open as they're going to get in the NFL. But I'm just telling you, like, they're not going to get open by like 8 yards in the NFL. So just you got to deliver it in there. He's kind of quick to bail out of the pocket, and he's going to have to hang in there a little bit longer, I think, and find those receivers. This is a really good throw here he makes. This is, the in cut here. He really drives the ball. That's a nice play. This is a kid that can make all the throws. He just needs to be more consistent. Here's another one where he's, should just stay in the pocket. He doesn't have any pressure. Just stay in the pocket and, take his reads and scrambles out early. Then he throws the ball late and it almost gets it picked off. So transitioning from a college quarterback to a pro quarterback here is, he just needs some time and experience. Here's a late throw over here. Wiggins picks it off.
That's going to happen. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Route was supposed to come back to the quarterback, I heard.
Again, kind of open receivers down here. We gotta hit them.
The pick is in.
Again, kind of I'd say too quick to scramble. And
Marvin Harrison goes to
he was the lowest rated
to the Arizona Cardinals
thrower.
On there for the Arizona. Rome Odunze. Bill, what are your thoughts on Marv, and what do you think he's going to translate to in the NFL?
Big guy, big target, great work ethic. Just like AJ said, I think there's certainly a lot to like about this player. A lot of his plays come, outside. He's not really a catch and run guy. He's more of a contested catch player. Certainly a big target in the red zone and third down. I mean, there's no doubt he'll help the Cardinals, and he gives them it's a big guy to cover.
Kind of sounds like an old Cardinals receiver.
Oh, a little Fitzy.
Fitz, yeah.
Yeah, big Fitz.
Third down, need him. If he can be the third down weapon for Kyler, he'll have a career forever out there in Arizona. Great city of Phoenix.
Yeah, fantastic. Gotta love Chef Bose. Coach, because he is the son of a Hall of Famer, is that something that GMs take into account when they're drafting? Like, hey, this is a guy who's the son of a pro, probably knows the steps to be great?
I think it's more important that what he actually did, like AJ said, that he's in there every day, he's working, he's not living off his dad's reputation, that he's in there, setting the, being himself and creating his own, his own model, not somebody else's. So I think that carries a lot.
This isn't a leech. He earned his own keep, but he also had a lot of the game shown to him. Like he's on the jugs machine in the morning and at night because Marv's like, hey, if you want to be great, this is how this whole thing goes. His dad's been very active and part of it, which I think is a beautiful thing. I think he's the fifth son of a Hall of Famer to be drafted in the first round. Wow. I believe, in the history of the NFL.
Okay.
So good for Marv. Congrats to him. Let's go to some film here and see what the Arizona Cardinals are getting with Marvin Harrison Jr. Bill Belichick's big breakdown on the 6'3", 209-pounder out of Ohio State.
Yeah, he's all a 6'3". Last year in 22 with Stroud, again, here's a good opportunity for him. You can see his speed, and here's his run after the catch where he can, get some space to go. But here he beats the the corner's got outside leverage, just fights his way across it. Good hands. It has obviously a big target, and he can go up and fight and make these contested catches like he does here against King that's a good corner there from Penn State. But again, coming inside, he runs this in cut here and just lays out, catches the ball. Really good concentration, good hands, big target. I mean, you love to throw the ball to a guy like this over the middle of the field. And he can cover guys up blocking. This against Notre Dame. And you can see here he gets out on the corner. You know what it's like going against these guys, but I mean, there he is. He stalks them, and that creates some room there. Another really good route.
Blocking right there.
Got hurt on that.
Got rolled up and came back.
Yeah.
Can you roll that back, Foxy? He doesn't get the ball on this play, but I think this is really a good route for a big guy. You don't see guys that are 6'3", 6'3 and a half have this kind of bend and flexibility as a route runner. He snaps out of it here. I don't throw him the ball, but that's the kind of route running that he can do. I think he's just got to learn to create a little bit more separation. Like this is it just doesn't really have enough separation there. And
we need a little more pizzazz, huh?
I thought this was a disappointing play here, in the Michigan game where, he gets undercut on the slant, ball gets picked off, and then he doesn't really
Me
finish
dan
the play. I think he's got to, you got to compete every play in this league. You can't have those plays.
Just like everybody that gets drafted tonight, there's going to be some stuff to fix. But this has been the guy that they've been talking about as the can't-miss prospect for 2 years. Because remember, last pro day when C.J. Stroud was throwing, there was a Lamborghini that was right behind a piece of glass at the car dealership, and that was Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
We saw him down there at that All-State Sugar Bowl game, and that's when I think you and everybody fell in love that saw him in person.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. It was a little talk about, hey, maybe Neighbors, because he is that explosive big play threat from day one. But me and Con, man, I can remember it vividly, standing in that end zone and watching him run a clown route, a triple post corner, and almost single-handedly winning that game, obviously with C.J. Stroud in the Peach Bowl against that Georgia defense who were back-to-back national championships. So seeing that separated me. He knew he was the guy. He's done all he needed to do on the field. Didn't do any of the pre-draft bullshit. I'm not working out. I'm not running. I'll talk to the teams that I need to talk to. And now him going to Arizona, I think it's a good situation for him. I think it's a good situation for Kyler. And he's polished. He's very polished. He's a tough kid. He's going to come to work and kind of set that tone for that offense.
We saw the videos of Monty, the new GM out there, working the phones last year. The Arizona Cardinals social media team put it out there. He doesn't trade. He makes the easy pick, is what everybody who's played with Marvin Harrison Jr. said. C.J. Stroud came out and said, let's not make this more difficult than it is. Let's not do that. Mad Mel, he didn't run for you at the Combine.
Yep.
He didn't do shit at the pro day for you, Mad Mel.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Well, I mean, clean sheet. This guy's unbelievable. Obviously, he's got the pedigree with his dad, the Hall of Famer. I wouldn't really say it's a character issue or a red flag, but in recent days, we did see that he decided to sign with New Balance to be his cleat. So that kind of gave me a little pause. This guy's wearing Gucci, Versace, Jordan cleats in college. And now he's wearing goddamn shoes that my grandpa wears, going out to get the newspaper on Saturday
grandpa
morning.
is fashionable. We know that.
And fast.
It's probably good business too, man.
I'm sure it's good business. Listen, we all saw the shoes, okay? Is this guy flashy? Does he want to look good on the field? Does he want to build a brand? Does he want to build an image? Or does he not care about that? Does he only care about the ball? So hey, I'm gonna wear these shoes that, to be frank, maybe kind of make me look like a little bit of a jackass on Sundays and Thursdays.
When you're talking about being flashy and everything like that, you talk about the Los Angeles Chargers' brand new head coach, Jim Harbaugh. Let's go down to the war room with Tone Diggs. What are some team needs? Because
the
we're being
pick
told
is
on
in.
that the Chargers are not
the pick is
the 5th
in.
overall pick. Tone, what are you thinking that the Chargers are going to be looking at here at the 5 overall, Tone Diggs?
Yeah, I just saw Schefter tweet that they're going to stay. Their team needs wide receiver, tackle, cornerback, center, guard, the offensive line there. So when you go and look at it, the top tackle here, Joe Alt. But the thing that's been going on since last night, DJ, Daniel Jeremiah, Schrags, and Fields both had J.C. Latham going number 5 to the Chargers, who was the right tackle for Alabama. So that was interesting. There was some line movement on that. So if they go there, that'd be interesting, because if you look at Fields and how the board lays out, J.C. Latham isn't the top offensive lineman there. Or they do need wide receiver. The top wide receiver left is Malik Neighbors, who is explosive. But we know Harbaugh. He loves those trenches, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pick is in for the Los Angeles Chargers. Tone, good work down in your dojo, pal.
Thank you, brother.
It is an offensive tackle, and it is the 6'9" one.
Joe Alt. Yep, I knew it.
Drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers. Jim Harbaugh, whenever he was at Michigan, he wanted a physical football team.
That's right.
When he was at Stanford, he wanted a physical football team.
Eat 'em up.
When he was at San Francisco 49ers, he wanted a physical football team. When he was at San Diego University, he wanted a physical football team. He's a guy that likes to grind and pound and win in the trenches. No surprise, his first pick, AJ, is an offensive lineman, Joe Alt, tackle out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised at this pick?
This feels like a Jim Harbaugh.
It's Jim Harbaugh.
I'm a little surprised.
Let's reinforce this O-line. I mean, yeah, they could get a receiver. You could trade back maybe, but I'm not shocked at all at this move.
D-Butch, what are you talking about?
I mean, I was with Neighbors sitting there. I would think Neighbors with having Justin Herbert and having the receiver room currently. You obviously, you drafted Johnston last year. I didn't see much from him as a rookie. Hopefully, he can develop and take a step. You got Josh Palmer in there as well. Lose some tight ends too. So I would have saw Neighbors there, especially having Slater at the tackle. But hey, like you said, this is Harbaugh. We saw him firsthand, boots on the ground, his last 2 games in Michigan. And it was built Sharon Moore with that offensive line. That's where everything started. They're going to be well coached. And this is him building the identity of his team going forward.
Harbaugh's team ran the ball 32 straight times against Penn State whenever Harbaugh was suspended. They're 100% okay being a ground and pound squad. Beefing up the offensive line for Justin Herbert. What do you think this message is, Bill Belichick, to his new team?
Well, to D-But's point, I think there's a good chance that they will come back and get a receiver at the top of the second round because there's a lot of depth at that position. So they might have felt like, much as Neighbors is a great player, that maybe there's more depth at receiver than there was at tackle. You know, I don't know. But in any case, you know, Alta, you know, he's a premier left tackle candidate. Long, tall, has played at a high level of competition. You know, obviously at Notre Dame, he's been well coached. His fundamentals are good. This guy's ready to go. I think he'll be able to play, you know, right away for him. And
let's look at some film.
Yeah.
Let's look at some film on Joel. Big guy. Big guy. 6'8", 315
No te mueves,
pounds
tío.
as the Giants are on the
Me
clock.
desesperas.
You can see his length here. He gets
Sí,
his
se
hands
trata
on
de
these
eso.
guys and he can
Sí,
stop
se
them
trata de
initially
eso.
and they have to restart.
Porque
and it's
estás
all
necio
over.
que a huevo lo
Reminds
vas a
me of Nate
arreglar cuando te
Solder.
estoy dando
Solder was
opciones de comprar
6'9".
otro carro.
Solder was a really athletic kid, but this is Solder.
Pero no
that
lo
same
haces
kind of,
porque quieres arreglar el carro,
height,
porque le estás
athleticism.
echando mucha mano.
Again, you
Y
can
te
really
sientes
aware he does a nice
como
job
pues
of
es mi
passing this game
máquina, you know
off.
what I
He
mean?
flattens it to end
Sí,
out
pero no a la
and
verga,
comes
mándala a la
punches
verga,
back,
güey.
looping around.
Exactly,
He
es
can
una
pull.
pinche máquina fea.
Here he is pulling around right here, and you know he can definitely move and get out on front on
Un
those
vato que es
plays.
mecánico que le
This year's
conviene, you know?
matchup against Ahoro and Clemson, and does a nice
Sí.
job here of kind of widening them out so the running back can get through that B gap area. Does a good job against another quality player. This is Miles Murphy last year. He was first-round pick from the Bengals.
Exactly.
You know, he did a good job against him in 22. I'd say he hasn't blocked a lot of great pass rushers just on their schedule.
Oh, because Notre Dame doesn't schedule anybody.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. They get Mickey Mouse. You're saying Mickey Mouse teams. That's what you're saying.
No, it just worked out
Mouse.
that way. They had Miles Murphy last year, and Murphy went in the first round. Let's say
Joe
that he's
Holt's
got a little,
lucky
some balance
motherfuckers,
things
bro.
that he can work on, a little bit of bend and balance. But, you know, this guy, there's a lot to like about him. He's a quality guy. He'll be a great, team guy for him, good teammate. You'll like having him on your football team. There's no question
wonder
about
if,
that.
like,
This is a character pick, too.
If you pass the Harbaugh character test, it feels like he's trying to be just like what Detroit was doing up here. Like they knew who their guys were. Joe Alt is obviously the first one. There's a little chatter about Latham out of Alabama potentially being the offensive tackle pick here for the Chargers. Instead, it's the big, tall, handsome bastard out of Notre Dame, Conde.
Yeah, J.C. Latham felt like the golden goose no one was talking about coming in, and then all of a sudden today he jumped up the board. But, Coach, D-But mentioned, Quentin Johnson, they lose guys, they still have him.
What did we miss?
At what point does a quarterback like Justin Herbert become a guy where it's like, hey, he's going to make those wide receivers around him better? Like, as much as having that premier
And Clemson, and does a nice job here of kind of widening them out so the running back can get through that B gap area. Does a good job against another quality player. This is Miles Murphy last year. He was first-round pick from the Bengals. He did a good job against him in 22. I'd say he hasn't blocked a lot of great pass rushers just on their schedule.
Oh, because Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, fourth pick. That's right.
Drafted Johnston last year.
Pretty clearly he wants to, be able to.
The pick is in. The Giants are
quarterback,
picking.
Protect the game and not let it get away
All right,
from
let's wait
him.
for the
So,
pick, and then I'll change your diaper.
They might punt the ball this year,
Sorry.
too. We don't know. Maybe Joe Alt's punting.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Chance, Harbaugh might have a little different strategery whenever it comes to battling situations. The New York Giants pick is in. Ladies and gentlemen, the man you just chatted about, Malik Neighbors, will be going to the New York Giants as a wide receiver for Daniel Jones. A lot of people thought, well, are they going to go with a quarterback here for the Giants because the press conference that Daniel Jones did the other day where his eyes
good
appeared to
choice.
be
Malik
glued
Neighbors,
open
fucking-
in his standpoint. They look
fucking
like
Daniel
Beetlejuice
Jones needs
from
the
the Howard
fucking
Stern
badasses.
show. But no,
The
instead they
guys
pick
that'll
up a
break him out
massive
of a-
weapon for him
of a hot
and for
spot.
Dayball.
Third
Coach,
down
I
goal.
know you liked Malik Neighbors.
All right.
He
Malik
did the top
Neighbors,
off.
damn.
You think he's going to be a great addition day one for Daniel Jones?
There's so much to like about Neighbors. I think this kid he's a very, very competitive player, number one. He wants the ball. He wants to be aggressive with the ball. He's a smart player, and he can do a lot of things. He can play inside. He can play outside. He's very, very tough to cover. And I think what you've seen now in these first 6 picks is, well, they could trade or trade offers and all that. These teams like the guy that was on the board, and they stood right there and took him. They turned the picks in pretty quickly, to your point, and they're not fooling around.
Yeah, we're supposed to get fireworks, Bill.
Yeah, when's that happen?
10 trades.
They're supposed to trade.
10 of them.
They're supposed to trade.
A record.
The Giants like Neighbors, they take him. The Chargers like Alt, they take him. The Patriots like May, they take him. There's no fooling around. So when you see a guy you like and he's a good fit for your football team, you take the guy. You don't trade out of that.
Mad Mel. They're paying Daniel Jones, I think, $40-some million. They pick up a big weapon for him in the Big Apple, in the shadows of the Big Apple. Your thoughts on Malik Nabers to the Giants?
Well, listen, Malik Nabers is one of my highest graded prospects.
Is that why
this
you
year.
wore the purple?
It could have been, purple, yeah, for LSU. The explosivity, obviously, the top-end speed. He's unbelievable. But I mentioned this last week. I do not love this pick for the New York Giants. Listen, nothing against Malik Nabers, okay, and nothing against Dan Jones. You can't sugarcoat a turd, okay? I saw that last press conference of that guy. His eyeballs were so goddamn wide open. I said, what's this guy going to do when he's got an elite pass rusher coming off the edge, okay? So, yeah, I mean, is Malik Nabers unbelievable? Sure. Is Daniel Jones going to be able to get him the ball? I mean, do we know that?
He'll see him.
Yeah, he's got good periphery now, better than ever. He's been working on those eyes.
Well, and again, Coach Dable, he knows, hey, if Dan Jones goes out and plays like he did last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, his ass is going to get fired. Go find your guy.
All right, they got him a weapon.
No, the only thing I'll say is you don't have to wait for Nabers to get open for very long. You don't need a lot of protection with him. This kid's got separation, and he's done it against really good corners in the SEC.
They lose Saquon, which is obviously a massive piece of the whole thing. Now they add Nabers. Let's go back in time, shall we, as the Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Let's go back to the number 2 overall pick. First-year GM for the Washington Commanders joining us, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Peters.
Yeah! What's up, AP?
How are you, boss?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing a lot better now, I can tell you that.
Amen. Okay, so let's talk about it as the boys will have some questions for you, and thank you for taking time to join us here on this big night for your program and for your career as a whole. There's a little bit of chatter about the 2 overall pick. I'm not a fan of that guy's smile at all. Look at that shit. Indecisive in your camp. The Top Golf thing generated a lot of headlines. Jaden Daniels sucks at golf.
Don't smile, bro.
Stuff. How long had it been, Jaden?
But I guess he's happy, so yeah.
To get to this number 2 overall pick for you.
Yeah, it was a process, and I think that's what I learned this from the guy next to you, just being process oriented, and we wanted to get through everything before we actually settled on a decision, but we knew this one for a long time, Pat.
Okay, the Top Golf thing wasn't a potential deterrent, and why did you choose to do that? Because that made a massive ordeal. I assume you saw the reaction by everybody. Then Bill came on the next day and was like, we used to do 12 guys at once. I mean, this is standard operating procedure. Why did you choose the Top Golf thing, and what did you learn from that about Jaden?
Yeah, I think we started doing that when I was in San Francisco, and it was great in terms of just getting everybody together and in a relaxed environment, a good atmosphere, seeing how they interacted, see who gravitated to who, and I think everything gets more magnified when you have quarterbacks, which is something I found out there, but it was overwhelmingly positive in terms of all of our feedback from everybody, and we got a lot out of everybody, and so not just Jaden, but everybody, and in the end, I thought it was really successful.
Okay, well, we love talking about it. You gave us like an hour and a half worth of shit.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, we appreciate it a lot. And then we hear Drake talk about it, JJ talk about it. It's fantastic. Matt Mel has a question for you, Adam. You better hope you pass his grading system.
Yeah, Adam, congratulations on the pick and probably finding your franchise quarterback of the future. Just curious, though, earlier in the week, or maybe it was last week, can't exactly remember, Jaden Daniels' agent kind of, tweeted out one of these. A lot of people speculating, hey, maybe this guy doesn't want to go play in Washington. But then he did a podcast, a couple days ago and basically said, hey, listen, whoever picks me, I'm going to be happy to go there. Was there ever any concern that, hey, maybe this guy doesn't want to come to Washington and we need to make sure that this guy's going to be comfortable here as the potential face of our franchise?
I can't even take you seriously. It's unbelievable.
Whoa, come on! What's the deal?
That's horseshit.
But I love it. I love it, though. So his agent's Ron Butler. He's a great agent. We have a good relationship, and we talked about that. And we feel great about it. Jaden feels great about it. Ron feels great about it. And we can't wait to get started with him.
Adam, congratulations on your first draft. Bill, I think wanted to say congrats as well.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats.
He's the reason why I came on, man. I'm so happy to see you, Coach. Thanks for everything you've done for me. It's an honor being on here with you.
Yeah. Well, likewise, you had a lot to do with our success when I was with the Patriots. We had a lot of great wins, a lot of great teams that you helped build. Hey, so going forward, would you think about moving back up into the first round if the guy falls to you that you like, or you kind of sitting there until waiting to, reset the board and go next year.
This guy's a journalist.
Next week or tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. His hard-hitting questions, Bill. I didn't know I was getting that from you. Yeah, Bill, you know how just like you guys did it. You move up, you move down, whatever you think is the best thing for your team. So we're prepared to do that. I was lucky to walk into a situation where we had 6 picks on the first 2 days. So we have the ability to do that. If it's for the right guy, we will. If not, we'll be really happy standing pat. There's a lot of good guys there at 36 and 40 and beyond too. So we're in a great spot, but we'll be ready to go. So I might, got to go back in the draft room and start making some calls maybe.
Hey, Adam, we can't wait to see what you do. Yeah, we appreciate the hell out of you.
Thanks.
And good luck out there. Congrats on your quarterback of the future, pal.
Yeah, thanks. We're fired up. We couldn't be happier, and thanks for having me on. It's nice to meet you, Pat and Bill. Great seeing you. Good luck with everything. I'm sure we'll talk soon.
And Adam, let's have a little bit more respect for Mad Mel, okay?
Yeah, good Lord.
Mad Mel.
Yeah. Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
was thrown off by that one.
ladies and gentlemen, Adam Peters, man.
Yeah, Adam.
Happy he has no idea who you are. This guy's been locked in.
It's good to know.
Went through his whole process, didn't want to make his decision too soon. The Titans were on the clock. The pick is in. Ladies and gentlemen, J.C. Latham out of Alabama is now a member of the Tennessee Titans. If you remember, Vrabel gets fired out of nowhere. None of us expected that. They bring in Callahan, not the one that sells auto parts.
Right.
No, we're talking about the one that was in Cincinnati. He gets hired. He brings his dad, legendary offensive line coach. Now with the first pick of the new era, they're investing in a big-time tackle in Latham. We saw him last night, D-Buck, walking around the hotel. This man is a monster, D-Buck.
And he can move. Good athlete. He can move. He looks the part. That's for sure from day one. And it's another example of young quarterback, Will Levis. What are we going to see in his second year? You got to protect him up front. You sign Pollard. You want a legit run game. You got a weapon in Calvin Ridley. And along with that golfing trip with Drake May and Phil, Will Levis was there as well. And he told me he saw the field clearer as a rookie more than he had ever saw it in the college game. And that was based on him getting the calls in his helmet and almost visualizing those plays. So I love this pick for Tennessee and Will Levis down there for his future.
Yeah, good for Will Levis. This is an investment in Will's future. They believe it after what they saw last year. J.C. Latham was potentially going to get moved ahead of Joe Alt here late. You have some film and watch this guy. He's at IMG Academy. He's a dog.
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations, IMG Academy coach Billy Miller. He's done a tremendous job down there. This is 5 years in a row. He's had a first-round draft pick.
Damn,
5 years in a row from IMG Academy. They've had 18 over the last 6 years, more than any high school in the United States. And Billy just keeps turning them out. They run a great program down there. J.J. McCarthy went to IMG. We'll see where he goes, but they've turned out some great players. So, but Latham, watch the tape on him. This guy is one word that describes him, and it's powerful. I mean, this guy can move bodies. He is extremely explosive. He has rare power. This is against Georgia. I think it's Stackhouse there. And, he just, now there's a running lane. I mean, even I could make a couple of yards through there. Just a couple. But here he comes again. This is, again, coming on these down blocks. He just caves in the whole side of the line.
Look at that finish. You love the finish, don't you?
Oh, he does. He buries these guys. It's really an aggressive player. Here he is against Graham. Graham's going to be a high pick next year in the draft, but you can see he kind of flips Graham over here and just, he's all the way across the other side of the center. So
moving bodies.
Yep. This is a great guy to run the ball behind. Here he is against Texas. His little game here, and he just tossed him around. this guy's a really, really physical player. I'd say, just focus. He got beat inside a couple times in the Georgia game. He's, it's fundamentals, it's techniques. And then, here's kind of a play against Michigan that, he just kind of, doesn't execute well. So I think just his focus, his concentration, but this kid's got a ton of talent, and he is powerful.
He's going to a place with a great offensive line coach, right? Like Coach Callahan is regarded as one of the best offensive line coaches in the history of the league,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And he can play left tackle, too. I don't have any doubt about that. I think if they want him to play left tackle, he could play left tackle or he could play right tackle. Honestly, there's some people that think he could move inside if they needed him in there. So this kid's got a lot of He's a good kid. He's a hard worker. He's got a lot of talent.
Huge. We saw him in the hotel.
Oh my God, yeah.
Massive individual. It feels like
he blocks out the sun.
Yes, solar eclipse.
Truly.
Yeah.
Did you see it the other day?
The glasses.
I guess he just picked up Roger Goodell in his celebration over there. Roger Goodell getting ragdolled.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, absolutely ragdolled, which is a beautiful thing.
Great
Did he just have back surgery?
3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Well,
no.
JC Layton's going to
JC.
check that spine there. All right. Let's go ahead and get these hats out because there is a demon walking amongst us up here.
Not again.
Okay?
No, not again.
JC Latham, congratulations going to the Titans. You're in the AFC South. That means, the Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson's back, and C.J. Stroud has that rookie year that's absolutely insane. And, the Jacksonville Jags are on the way up, but the Tennessee Titans are rebuilding quickly, making great decisions. It feels like they have a plan with how they're going to do it. Now, as the Falcons are on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Oz the Mentalist to come back out here.
Hey,
Oz, okay, so we were told to get 32 hats, Oz, and
Yes,
we
sir.
did that from our friends at Lids. These hats will be debuting on Friday
Clean.
at lidshd.com.
baby.
You can buy these hats. So shout out to the Lids folks, literally overnighting these to us. Oz, what do we have all these hats out
Can I
here
get
for?
in between you, Bill and Darius?
Let's do it.
You know what? Everybody out there, these players, these college players that are going to play football professionally, everyone has a dream, which is
Okay.
not only to play, but to make it to the Hall of Fame, to win a Super Bowl,
Amen.
to get that ring. Am I right?
Yes.
And how do you know which pick? I don't care if it's number 1 Caleb Williams or the last person picked in the final round. Who's going to be that Hall of Famer? Bill, you know better than anyone. 199th pick, 6th round, Tom Brady.
Whoa.
Potentially the greatest of all time. Go figure.
Yeah, the
Darius,
No,
everyone
potentially
asks
about
me,
it.
do I know the future?
Yeah.
I don't know the future. I read people, but I want you, if you don't mind, to stand up
Okay.
and imagine that somehow, Darius, a crystal ball has fallen into your hands, and you can see into the future, 5 years, 10 years,
Don't drop
15
it.
years, and I'm going to have you walk right around in front of this table and do
shit.
one pass around and look at every one of these logos. And I know all these teams have a meaning to you.
I got a lot
And
of teams,
Darius,
those.
imagine
Too
that
many.
you
Yeah,
know
he's a bandwagon fan.
Yeah, big
which
time.
pick. Don't let your eyes gaze too much because I'm watching you,
Yep,
watching those
yep,
hats. Come
yep.
on around.
You got a terrible
He's a
poker place. We
slippery
learned that
bastard.
earlier.
Yeah, he got me early.
This guy's
All right.
witchcraft. Really
Yeah.
good job, D-Bud.
Imagine that you know which team, their player that they pick in today's draft is going to be a future Hall of Famer that we all talk about in 15 years. Sit down for me, please,
This is
sir.
a 50-year trick.
Yo, we're going
We
deep.
got time.
Darius, cover your eyes, please, with your hand. Cover your eyes, no peeking. One
Okay.
hand. I'm watching. I saw what he looked at. I saw his eyes.
I looked at them all.
cheating.
I know.
Hold on.
I
Yeah,
saw
I
you
read it
go
too.
back and
That one?
forth, folks. I want everyone to
get
see us. Darius, you're not looking, are
He
you?
telegraphed it all.
D-Bud,
Keep
don't
your eyes
look.
closed. Everyone keep your eyes closed.
He's
Everyone
peeking
keep
for
your eyes
sure.
closed. You see it, Bill. You know what? The best players, they go one way, they go the other. He pivoted right in the middle. I think we switched.
Yeah.
I see in his eyes. Bam. That's what I'm going with. You guys saw them. I saw
Don't even. If
Darius,
this one's it, we're going to.
Darius, keep your eyes closed. But imagine that the pick in the 2024 draft, 15 years from now, this person's in the Hall of Fame. Which team? What's that number 1 team you were thinking of? Say it.
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
my
Open your
God.
eyes. Take a look.
Come on.
Take
Get
a
him
look.
on! Yeah, burn him
Hold
at
up,
the stake!
hold up,
Burn
hold
him
up,
at the
hold up.
stake!
Swear to me,
Switch!
swear to me. Listen to
Switch!
me. Boston,
Switch!
I could see in his eyes.
winked at
He
him.
went back and forth. AJ, you changed your mind. Last moment, you pulled an audible, play fake. Which other team were
No,
you
I
about
didn't,
to
I
say?
didn't. This
What
is-
was
this
the
is
other
my
team
team.
you were considering?
The Chargers.
Oh, my God.
That's what he picked up!
Predictable,
He
D-Bud.
picked it up, D-Bud!
D-Bud.
When I have my eyes closed?
Keep telegraphing this. Come on.
How the fuck am I telling?
I'm just saying.
Good
This
Lord.
guy's poker face impossible.
Boston, is that still strapped to your chest?
Yeah, like a
What's wrong
bomb,
with this
O's.
dude,
Coach Belichick wrote 7:57. What is the time on the clock right now? Because so far, I'm not going to tell you,
9:06.
but I think all our picks and my picks were what you thought they would be. But I think things are about to shift very shortly.
Uh-oh.
So let's see what happens.
What does that mean?
I'm coming back for more.
Hey, Demon, explain more.
I got to leave you on more. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Demon boy.
That's 3
Get out of here, Demon
Beat it,
boy.
Beelzebub.
All right, see you, witch. What's that guy's problem, Bill?
Burn
What do you think
him.
That guy's problem is.
He's an alien.
Yeah.
Is that like
That's
what?
amazing.
Is that what Ernie Sims was? I wasn't around him.
Adams.
Is that what he was? Ernie Adams. Sorry, Ernie Sims.
Great
before the
linebacker.
team.
Great linebacker.
Great
Ernie
football
Adams.
player.
Is that what Ernie Adams was? Just like he was able to just read people's face and.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. Yeah, no, he didn't do that. Ernie was analytical.
Ernie, also the GOAT. Also the GOAT. Shout out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the The pick is in.
He's right.
The Atlanta Falcons have selected Michael Penix Jr., the fourth quarterback taken off the board out of Washington.
Wow.
He is not here. He's at his family's residence or some sort of building to celebrate this back at home. A man who was at Indiana, led them to having success in the Big Ten, something that they haven't seen before that or have seen since then. Then he goes over to Washington with Kalen DeBoer, and he has immediate success. Goes on to take them to the national championship. They lose inevitably to a Michigan team, but Michael Penix to the Atlanta Falcons, who just signed Kirk Cousins to a $130 million deal just a few weeks ago. Raheem Morris, new head coach down there, obviously had to have some sort of say in this. We like Michael Penix. We love Michael Penix. Did not expect the Falcons to be in the quarterback game whenever we were chatting about all this. Mad Mo, how come you didn't tell us that this was potentially going to happen?
Well, because I think this is pretty idiotic. Nothing against Michael Penix. I love Michael Penix as a prospect. Can throw all three phases of the field. Can really move it down the football field. You just mentioned it though. You just spent $160 million on a quarterback. You got other holes you need to fill, and you draft another quarterback. You're just going to sit him for 2 years? I mean, I don't know. Maybe Arthur Blank and the boys down there, they think they have the team that can compete to win right away, so they don't need, an impact plug-and-play player. I did not see this coming. This is fucking crazy. It's a little
41
wild.
years you've been doing this, Mad Mel. You don't know shit, obviously. 48
the pick
years
is in. The pick is
in
in.
a war room. And as we chatted earlier about our draft board, everybody has a different draft board. Everybody has a different
Michael
ranking
Penix
system.
Jr.
Do you think Michael Penix was like their favorite quarterback, and that if he was available, they were going to take him? Or how do you think the Atlanta Falcons
L
got to
for
this
ATL?
position?
I don't know about L.
Yeah, I think it's just that. They obviously like the kid. I think this is an example where you probably could have traded back to take Penix. Maybe they thought that Denver or somebody else was going to slide in there. I don't know, but this seems a little high for him. But there's a lot to like about Penix. There's a lot to like about this kid. He's very mature. They talk about the injuries, but he's been healthy the last 2 years, and he's won a lot of games, on a good football team at Washington. So, it's an interesting pick.
Honestly, I would have picked
look,
the best
two good
player on the
quarterbacks in
board,
the
right,
back
for
then.
your team.
Have you ever seen anything like this, though?
Do they feel like that's
Quarterback
what they
and
only
draft
need? They
for
just
his
need a
top 10?
quarterback? Is that what it
I
is?
mean, Aaron Rodgers, and he took Love in the top. Well, not in the top 10. He was like
Big
20.
Penix energy?
Hey, that's why there's 32 different teams. They all have their own boards. They have their own philosophies. They all have their own logos. So.
Didn't Oz, whenever he walked out of here, he said
something's up.
He said everything is kind of going how it is. Something's about to happen. And then boom, all of a sudden the Atlanta Falcons take Michael Penix Jr. You talk about Aaron. Aaron had been there for 16 years or something. They just go out and get Kirk. They had to court Kirk. They had to win in free agency with the offer they gave him for a couple other places that were, assumingly in on Kirk Cousins, and now they get Penix. Maybe this is we want him to sit for a year or two. We want him to watch Kirk be a professional. I have no idea, but you got to assume they have
at least
a plan.
two. At least two, right? I mean, if you sign Kirk to this monster deal, you can't say, hey, well, it's one and done, and you're out of here.
I'm pretty worried that O's Mentalist went into the Falcons front office and was like, hey, listen.
I need some shit.
You're going to have to take Michael Penix Jr. I'm going to turn your brains into mush right now on the spot. So when it comes to that time, when 8 rolls on and you are on the clock, I know you might want one guy. You're taking Penix or else you're dead.
How about this? Going into the draft, number 9 overall pick with the Chicago Bears, people are saying Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze were hanging out. They're on the same plane. How will they end up together? There's no way the NFL, when the draft will be so predictable that we have been able to call a 1 pick and a 9 pick for a team. Rome Odunze is now a member of the Chicago.
Hell yeah.
Caleb Williams gets another weapon. They brought in Keenan Allen this offseason, who's a third down machine, a yak god. Now you bring in Rome Odunze, who people had in that top level of wide receivers. We got a chance to watch him a lot with Washington. And Penix and he go back-to-back. That's cool because I think that's a good metaphor for their relationship. Those two ran roughshod on a lot of teams. Rome to the Bears, third wide receiver taken. He and Penix were special. What are your thoughts on this entire thing, Bill?
Well, again, there's a lot to like about Penix, and there's a lot to like about Rome. I mean, this kid is really competitive. He's tough. He's made a lot of big plays for Washington. He's been their one of the most dependable players. And Penix is a great leader. I mean, those players love him. They play hard for him. Those two
player out there, and he's going to win one-on-one matchups.
The Jets were on the clock. They have traded on this 2024 NFL draft to Minnesota,
Wow.
who was allegedly going to move up to get a quarterback, is what everybody was thinking. So this has to be J.J. McCarthy. They see Michael Penix goes. They see J.J. sliding. They say, let's go get this thing.
Yeah.
AJ.
Was someone going to jump them? Obviously, the Jets are not going to take him. So, yeah, what happened here, Bill?
Well, you get up to wherever you can get up to. If you
But
don't
couldn't they
trade
have waited for the Jets? The
What if
Jets aren't going
somebody
to take
else-
J.J. McCarthy, are they? Or they were?
Maybe.
I
No,
guess
no,
they
no.
could have. We don't know.
We
So I
just
mean, the
saw
Vikings
Penix.
felt like they had to get up one spot.
Well, no. What if somebody else? What if Denver traded up with them?
Yeah, so
And
they
if-
had to assume. Yeah, other
If
teams
you
are coming
want,
up trying
if
to
you
get
want
that.
the guy, then you just go up and get him.
Okay.
And I think that's what they did.
Makes
They
sense.
moved one pick here.
Yeah.
You know, they moved one pick. So
So
They were worried someone else was going to jump
sure,
them and
somebody
take
just
that.
jump
I'm
them,
guessing,
take another
right?
quarterback.
Yeah.
100%.
you get that close to your guy, it's like we're willing to give up maybe like a third. I think they had, how many picks did the Minnesota Vikings have?
They had 2 in the first, and I think they had like what 8.
They had a
Yeah,
bunch-
definitely
they had a
Vikings
shit
got
ton. So I assume
scared,
you
right?
bundle a
Like-
little bit, move up one, steal
Like
your guy.
Penix got taken.
Look, I did that with Ty Warren in 2003. Ty Warren, we traded up one spot with the Bears. We switched spots with them and gave up a 5th-round pick. And we ended up taking Ty Warren, and then they took Haynes kid from Penn State, who was a defensive
Is that
lineman, the
Lucy?
pick after us. Now, whether they want to Warren or not, I'm not sure.
No.
But the point is, if you want your guy, you're willing to go up a little more to get him.
The Vikings
Another
gave up.
example of me trading up, Pat, just for the record.
Hey,
Yeah, no
everybody
big
talks
deal.
about it, Bill.
Yeah, no big
Everybody
deal.
talks about
Good
it.
player, too.
The Vikings are sending picks 129 and 157 to the Jets. In return, the Vikings get 10 and 203. So they saw the guy. They said, let's not wait any longer. Let anybody else get in this thing. Let's get our quarterback, we assume, which will be J.J. McCarthy. They have Sam Darnold there. They bring him in from the San Francisco 49ers, pay him like $10 million.
Yep.
This is going to be a classic 1 year. Maybe J.J. sits behind Sam Darnold, or if J.J.'s the pick, which we're all assuming. And how do you think it's going to go?
Is the pick
Well, again, I
not
think
in?
there's a
Oh,
lot
not
to like
in.
about J.J. McCarthy, too, and Penix. I mean, these two guys have both, they've won a lot of games. They've made a lot of good plays. There may be a little bit less upside, but I think these guys, there's not much downside. They have a higher floor, maybe a little bit lower ceiling, but I think the ceiling's still pretty good with both McCarthy and Penix. Interesting picks that, and I can see why they're in the top 10. There's a lot to like about both these guys.
How about Penix to Atlanta?
Wow.
Dude, I mean, I get the whole like, hey, 2 quarterbacks is sweet. Are they just burning 50 to $100 million? Because Penix is like an older guy. He's a 23, 24-year-old by the time next season's done. So, like, why would you do that? That is asinine. I'm blaming that one on O's. I don't care. I don't know if they actually like Penix. I'm blaming that one on O's. That's psychopath.
The Minnesota Vikings, who just traded up one spot by giving up 129 and 157 to the New York Jets. The Jets will be on the clock after this pick is announced. Guess who? J.J. McCarthy goes to the Minnesota Vikings. It feels like this has been chatted about since the Combine, even beforehand. They're not going to be able to pay Kirk. If they pay Justin Jefferson, Kirk's going to leave. We're going to look at a younger quarterback. J.J. McCarthy is inevitably the guy that they trade up one spot to grab. Former hockey player, winner, another guy out of IMG Academy, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, again, 2 number 1 picks for IMG Academy. I mean, this is like, Alabama turning them out. This is unbelievable. But, again, there's a lot
Do
to
you
like
own a
about
part
McCarthy.
of IMG?
No, I'm just saying.
You should
When
get some
you, when
equity
you
now.
look at their
Sure,
high,
you should get some.
when you look at their high school, what Coach Miller has done down there in the last 6 years, it's unbelievable. But anyway, there's a lot to like about McCarthy. I mean, it gets tough. He's a great leader. He's an alpha guy. Players love him. His teammates love him. And he makes a lot of good decisions. He really helps your team. I think he'll work well with, with the Vikings. And, I think, Coach O'Connell will do a great job with him. And he's got some good players to work with, especially, Jefferson.
So whenever you think about J.J. McCarthy's future and you watch the film, what do we see, what do we like, what do we not like, and what is Kevin O'Connell going to be able to kind of make better and take advantage of? A guy who's had success with damn near any quarterback you put in his offensive system. Let's go to the film.
Here he is. I mean, there's not much to not like about McCarthy. I mean, one thing is the question is his weight. He weighed in at 202 and then 219. He's somewhere in there. We'd like him at 219, not 202. But again, this guy's got a quick release. He can get the ball out. He reads coverage as well. He's just got a lot more experience than.
And they huddled up too, Coach. Is that a big deal? Like I know Nick Saban was talking about playing. They actually huddled and did all that, and his defense was not used to seeing it.
And he plays under center. He isn't in a shotgun all the time, so he can handle under center. He can handle the play action passes, turn his back to the quarterback. But here he is getting the ball out quick. If you run this back for a second, Foxy, this is
See Foxy.
This is Chop Robinson coming off the edge here. And look at how quick McCarthy gets the ball out here. I mean, to get it out and have a complete and have a 10-yard gain when he ends essentially unblocked, like, that's pretty good. He has good ball security. I know he had the 2 pick sixes against TCU in the championship game, but I would say overall, like, this guy, it's 3rd and 10. You know, he's going to protect the team. He's not looking to turn the ball over, and say his ball security.
Shot put a ball down the field right
Better
there.
go sit down over there,
This is a 2nd and 10 play.
no.
Again, another quick throw.
Aquí
Now
no.
it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
Back on track.
Those
Please,
plays
sit
help
down
your
right here.
offense.
Sit down
You know,
right here.
again, taking a profit, you know, every play's not going to be an 80-yard touchdown. You know, he's good to make good completions, good solid plays. Here he throws on the run, you know, puts the ball right on the money, good solid 10, 12-yard gain. Like, you need those plays in the NFL. Now, if you want to run the ball with this guy, he's a good runner and he's tough. So here he's on
Sneaky
this.
athletic.
Yeah, here's the sweep. You know, he does a nice job of reading the hole here. You know, and this is really a good run game decision. So this is an RPO. You know, he's reading the rotation coming down to the right side here. And so instead of handing the ball off, or to the left side rather, instead of handing the ball off here, you know, he sees Isaac take it, pulls the ball down, and then, again, good solid run. He just makes good decisions. 4th and 1, this is really a good play. You know, they run the little rollout here, and everybody's covered. He's got nobody to throw to. He's 6, 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Got to get the first down and makes a good run.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this guy's a better runner than Jaden Daniels, but he just makes good decisions, and it's definitely good enough. Here's another second down play where he, you know, he's got to read the defensive end and the rotation on the top. The top of the screen here, pulls the ball and outruns Isaac.
The edge burned down.
Gets a first down. So, you know, these are the ones you want him to hit
gotta
here.
look
He's
for
got
them.
the crossing pattern.
They're in the air.
Should throw their over route, and
you
still
can
he
only
tries
see
to,
'em with
you know,
that.
get on the field to that flag that's, you know, has got no chance on. Again, there's things for him to work on too, but overall, this kid he makes a lot of good football plays.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think
here
what
he-
we like about JJ here is he's also a winner. You know,
my
Bill,
God, yeah.
as you go through it all, I think he's only lost like 1 game. He beat the hell out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, there's been a lot of down times in the state of Ohio because what J.J. McCarthy and Jim Harbaugh did towards them the last 3 years. Wins a national championship, played hockey growing up. This is the type of guy that you would love to see leading the program, AJ.
Yeah, he's the guy that you feel like the players love him. We saw him. We were out there. We were watching him. He's meditating before the game. Under the goalpost. We're thinking, what's going on here? The guy's barefoot doing all this. I like it. I'm into all that. I think it's pretty cool. The guy's like old school mentality, old school toughness with some new age. You know, I think mindfulness, and seems like he loves his teammates as well and takes care of the ball, like Bill says.
Yeah, I absolutely love J.J. McCarthy, Pat. You mentioned he's a winner, 27-1. You know, oftentimes we don't talk about that. Listen, if you win in college, granted, there's a decent chance that you're going to have the requisite skills to go win in the NFL. But I am curious, Coach, when you look at a guy like J.J. McCarthy, obviously played a bunch in college, do you think he's going into Minnesota and he's going to be the guy who's going to start from the get-go? Obviously, they signed Sam Darnold, a guy who you basically ripped his soul out of his body.
Numerous times.
Yeah, exactly.
Numerous times.
He saw ghosts because of you. Is that a situation where they're expecting J.J. McCarthy to come in and start right away?
You know, I can't speak for Coach O'Connell. I would just say for me, I would start him when I think he's ready. If that's week 1, it's week 1. If it's midseason, it's midseason. I think as a coach, when you feel like he's ready, that's when you put him in. If you put him in too early, you don't want to have to take him out after week 4 or week 5. You want to wait till you know this is it. This is our guy. We're going with him all the way, and he's ready enough to play. At whatever point that is, it might be after the second preseason game. I don't know, but I think with that position, what you don't want to do is you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. Once he's ready, you put him in, then you just got to live with it. Might be a couple bad, rough spots in there, but you're going to stay with him.
Going into a great situation, too. You mentioned KLC won with a ton of different quarterbacks. They didn't do so great in those close games, but him coming in with Justin Jefferson, who we think they're going to re-sign, probably the best receiver in the league, and then Jordan Addison, who had a great rookie year as well, and going to continue to, create separation. So I think he's going into a good situation whenever he does get that start.
Definitely. 5 quarterbacks have been taken in the top 10 picks.
Damn.
5.
All offense.
Now, yeah, and chalk offense.
Yeah.
19 is the number, the most amount of offensive players that have been drafted in one first round. I think it was in 2021 or 2022. Everybody had predicted that this year would go over. The 6 quarterbacks in the first. Remember, Michael Penix was only like minus 130 a week ago to go in the first round. J.J. McCarthy was having chatter about maybe he was the 4th quarterback. Instead, he finds a perfect home, in my eyes, in Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like Minnesota's kind of the quarterback heaven. Like, if you want to be good at quarterback, you go hang out with Kevin O'Connell and you throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. But another huge addition, too, they add Aaron Jones. Like, you got a pissed off running back who's coming over from a division rival. You got a guy who's not afraid to hand the ball off every single play like he did against Penn State. Like, you got to love that as a coach, right, Bill? If you have a quarterback who's not going to complain about handing the ball off, even though he might want to spin it.
He's a great, great leader and a great team player. I don't think there's any question about that. I think the thing that worries you a little bit about J.J. McCarthy, he's 2 for 12 against against Alabama, on 3rd down. And those are the ones you got to hit. 3rd down, red area, 2-minute. And so, can he do that? Which he did at Michigan, but he got into trouble against Alabama, and that's that 4th and 1 play. Like, you got to convert those plays. I think in the end it'll be good enough. I really do. But I think that's one of the things that, like, why isn't he the first guy?
Okay.
It's his overall accuracy in 3rd down.
Good news, him going to Minnesota, former hockey guy.
They're going to love
hockey state. They're going to love him over there. I think everybody loves him that's ever met him. They told a story to me about how first game he went in whenever he was a freshman and McNamara was still playing, because McNamara took him to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole – he replaced the guy that took a team to the playoffs. His first game, he went into the huddle, had to call a play, and a miserable offensive lineman, I don't know who it was, the way I was told the story is, an offensive lineman that hates everything said, hey, I like the cut of this guy's jib, like the way he handled himself, his humility, the way he operates around the locker room, and the guy's a winner. And you bring up not bitching about handing the ball off 32 times. This guy could have been up for a Heisman. Their team's undefeated, and he's handing the ball off 32 straight times to get a win. Not a peep. Not a single.
Shouldn't his ceiling should be very high, I feel like, because he wasn't asked to do all of that in college. Like you said, I was listening to somebody on ESPN earlier today talk about
Orlovsky?
They were watching some footage of Michigan, and they were on they're on the 30 going in, and JJ's like, hey, you can fast forward. We don't need to watch it anymore. Like, we're not throwing. I don't throw any more passes here. We're going to run. It's Michigan. We're going to pound the ball. So I think like his ceiling could be even higher because we haven't really even scratched the surface on what he possibly could be.
Sam Darnold can help. He's been around a lot of places, seen a lot of ball, had success, had failures. Like, that's a good person to keep in the room, kind of an OG around you. The Jets, who just traded back one with the Minnesota Vikings, have made their pick. Ladies and gentlemen.
Bowers?
No.
Olu Fashanu, tackle out of Penn State.
Oh, there we go.
Now a member of the New York Jets. Let's get some protection for Aaron Rodgers, who was only able to play 4 offensive plays this past season, as the hype built quickly around the Jets maybe being the favorite of the AFC East. It all got shattered quickly. The dreams got punted one year, and now with the 11th overall pick, they shore up the offensive line a little bit for old Aaron Rodgers in that offense, Ty.
Yeah, I think this makes a lot more sense. You get a guy like Olu, obviously. He's got a good base of power. He's long, massive caboose, big ass on this guy. A lot of people had, Brock Bowers going to the Jets because they said, Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a tight end like this guy in quite some time. But at the end of the day, you got to protect Aaron Rodgers. For most of last year and the last several years, the Jets' offensive line has been a sieve, whether it's because they've had guys injured or they haven't had the right guys in there. You got to make sure that Aaron Rodgers is upright. And what better way than taking a big son of a bitch from Penn State like Olu? I love this pick.
He was supposed to be a top 10 or top 15 pick last year.
Correct. Oh, yeah.
Goes back to Penn State. Yep. Now, Penn State has the same exact year that they had
just on repeat
the year before.
Yeah, for the last 50 years.
But he got to play some more ball, and now he's going to, New Jersey for a lot of spotlight now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, every single game is going to be prime time. A lot of eyes. I think he's ready for it. We got a chance to meet him and his family at one of the college game days, or one of the tournaments. I forget where it was. Family's awesome.
Yes.
Incredible group. He is a special dude, I think is how everybody describes him. And now he's blocking for Aaron Rodgers in his first year in a swan song type thing that's supposed to end in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you set a lot of eyes on the Jets. If there's another vaccine, you can double those eyes just because of the fact that quarterback is who he is. And I love him for it. But also, they bring in John Simpson, starter for the Ravens last year, Morgan Moses, starter for the Ravens last year, and Tyron Smith from the Cowboys. 3 vet O-linemen, one of them being a vet left tackle. That'd be perfect for Olu to learn under, too, going forward if Rodgers does play, a few more years here for having a young guy like that, learning behind a Tyron Smith who's been in the league since he was 17 years old.
Yeah, and it's a good, Aaron will make him right, too, right? Isn't that something veteran quarterbacks can do for offensive linemen, especially young guys like Olu?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a smart kid that if Aaron changes the plays and audibles, things like that, he'll be good on that. Again, this guy's, he's been a solid player at a good program, and there's some age at the tackle for the Jets. I know they got a couple guys in there, but this is a young tackle that is going to be there for a while, so he should help them.
Let's go down to the draft board that we have with Tone Diggs in our war room in his dojo. Tone, I don't know what the temperature is down there, pal. It's getting a little chilly up here.
A bit.
Yeah, we're all standing. How's the board shaping up, and are you as surprised about the Atlanta pick as the rest of them?
The Atlanta pick was shocking because what we talked about earlier is see this these top 2 rows of the draft board here. Those are top of the first round draft picks. Mike Penix was sitting down here at 37. That's a top of the second round draft pick when you're looking at Field Yates' rankings and if you're looking at your draft board, and that's how it would go. So it's very surprising that he went that high, and it was very surprising then that he went to Atlanta when they have a quarterback. Now when you're going through it, no defensive players have been taking it. None. So all the top row, the first round players that are the top of the first round left on offense, just Brock Bowers and Fuaga from Oregon State. And then we have these defensive players that are still all left there. I'd have no idea when one's going to come off the board. I don't think it's going to be the Broncos. There's been one guy projected to go there for a long, long time, and it's this one right here, this quarterback who was on field board, one higher than Penix. So it'll be exciting to see if the Broncos go there.
Yeah, because you release Russell Wilson, and you say, you know what, $85 million dead cap, who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest in the history of the NFL, bro.
Yeah,
That's a massive decision by Sean Payton, right? When you're at that big of a disadvantage salary cap-wise,
right, but if you're going to cut your losses, you got to cut your losses, and if you don't, it gets worse. But if we go back to the board for a minute, I think this is a very realistic picture in the draft room, whatever round it is. If you want a quarterback, there's one guy. There's defensive players on the board. This is where the board's finally shifted to where there's 4 or 5 defensive players over there based on our board, Fields board, that you can take. If you want a tight end, then you go for Bowers because there's not much below him. Again, on our board. There may be other players on different boards, but so Bowers is like getting another receiver, all right? This guy's really a fantastic player. But if you want defense, this is the point where the defensive players now maybe have more value than the offense. Unless it's a tight end or a quarterback, there's nobody below them on this particular board. And that's what you're looking at. And if you go to the best available over here, now you're looking at, who are the best available players? Well, there's Bowers, and now you have the Turner and offensive lineman, and now you're back to Latu, and now the defensive players are finally coming into play here.
Yeah, I got a DB there out of Toledo and Mitchell that's been, mocked to the Indianapolis Colts a few different times.
That's right.
So got his eye on him. Been a couple interesting decisions that have been made thus far in the 2024 NFL Draft. Thank you for your work down there in the dojo, Tone Diggs.
No problem, boys. Stay warm up there.
Yeah, one thing that wouldn't surprise me here is that the Broncos really want Nix. Then what I would think about would be to trade back and not take him at this spot because he's probably going to be there in a few more picks. I think there's a good chance.
Would they have takers?
You'd have to take a look at who else, maybe on the draft strategy, like who else might be coming up to get Nix. But if nobody else was going to take him, you could move back to, say, 20 and take him. You might be able to pick up a second-round pick or something like that.
Or to AJ's point, like a team that would want to come up and get someone, when they look at the board, and there's one top of the first round tackle left in Fuaga. Like if a team wants a tackle, would that be a team who would look to potentially come up to the Broncos because there's one top of the first round tackle left?
They're going to take Bo Nix.
Absolutely, because once you drop down below that, you can just see
no one took Bo Nix, right?
The tackles, again, based on our board, they're less at tackle, and or you're taking a guy who you might have to move inside on that inside line.
They're taking Bo Nix.
With Barton and Fatanu. So this is an interesting situation. But Bowers really, I'd say you probably can't go wrong with him. I mean, he can do everything. Unless you need a defensive player. He can't play defense. All right. But if you want the quarterback, this might not be a bad time, depending on how you feel about the rest of the board, to move back and then take the quarterback a little bit later if there's a trade partner with you. But I could see somebody trading up and taking Bowers here.
Okay, so that is possible. There is also a chance that they take Bo Nix here as opposed to maybe rolling the dice and going back. There's a chance
Juice, that's right, you too.
You know, maybe they go with another. Maybe they take Brock. They say, hey, we got Stidham. Maybe we like a quarterback that isn't here. Maybe Bo will be here later. We'll go with the number one weapon on the board still in Brock Bowers.
The fact that this is taking a little while here, I think probably, Denver may be sorting out some offers. Would be my guess. I don't know that, but that would be my guess, is maybe they're sorting out some offers. Do they want to stay here and take whoever it is, or do they want to back off?
Roger Goodell just paused.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, quarterback for the Broncos. Wow. Congrats to Bo for getting drafted number 11 overall. 12. 11?
12. 11.
Number 12 was the Jets.
Olu.
Yep. Yeah, number 12 overall. He's Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos. So Sean Payton, obviously, looking to get younger at the quarterback position as they move on from Russell Wilson. Going to have an $85 million cap hit for the next 2 years. So you need the high-priced positions to be cheap.
Yep.
And that is certainly what Bo Nix will be for the Denver Broncos. A man who's played a lot of football and good from the pocket, Bill.
Yeah, he's really, of all the quarterbacks, the highest rated from the pocket. I think he's got a good arm, but that system kind of is more possession passing. But you can see he's got some highlight plays down the field here. But he has almost a 75% completion percentage, and it's because, a lot of throws are, closer to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. But
that's not his fault.
No, he protects the ball well, and again, this is another guy that's played a lot of football. From Auburn.
Bo Nix, I knew it was Bo Nix.
Career up there, so he's experienced, and he's probably pretty close to being game ready, and he's got to be smart to handle Sean's offense. So it's what a quarterback draft this has been.
Yeah, 6 quarterbacks already taken in the first 12 picks.
Wow.
Joining us now is another quarterback, ladies and gentlemen, from the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah!
How you doing, brother?
Hey, guys. It's been fun watching you.
Hey, we appreciate you watching. You look fantastic. The mustache is stupendous.
Wow.
Stupendous right now. Mid-season form. Let's talk about the season a little bit. Got a tackle with a pick, with the 11th overall pick, Olu out of Penn State. What are your thoughts on that and them investing in the offensive line? You got to love it over there in New York.
Yeah, I mean, we already made three moves in the offseason with bringing in John to play guard, and Morgan to play tackle, and Tyron to play tackle as well. So it wasn't necessarily top of
He's
the league.
alive.
But I know they really loved Olu, and I love what Joe did, moving back and getting a couple more picks. I believe in the 4th and 5th, it looks like.
129, 157.
ESPN, mad.
I know Mad Mel probably like that too.
That's my vice president.
Value add there.
Yeah, hey, Mad Mel, you got a question for Aaron? Or?
Yeah, I do, Aaron. A lot of people saying, hey, the Jets, they need to go with Brock Bowers because Aaron hasn't had a tight end who's, that versatile and that explosive. But honestly, when you look at your team on paper right now, obviously you add Mike Williams, you add a couple more of these guys. Where would you rank this, going into a season in terms of some of those explosive offenses you had in Green Bay? A lot of people saying this may be your best core of skill players you've ever played with.
Well, I'd love to hear what you think there, Matt Mel, just because you've been in the game for so long. I did want to correct Coach Belichick.
41 years.
The one chance I get in my entire career that I wasn't picked 20th, I was picked 24th. AJ, I love the teeth, looking solid.
Thank you.
Looking good. And listen, back to Olu, he didn't give up a sack, I don't think, his entire college career. Which is saying a lot because you're going against great schools in the Big Ten like Wisconsin and every now and then Iowa, right, Mad Mel? But great I love our skill group. I knew that we really liked all 3 of the receivers. So I was watching film on those guys. I was watching film on the linemen.
Sure. Yeah.
And Olu is a mauler, and he had an incredible career at Penn State. He's not going to need to jump in right away at tackle for sure.
Bill Belichick prayed he doesn't end up in the next Vax
I think he's going to have a long career in the league,
hilarious.
much longer than I'm going to be in New Jersey. So excited for him. Excited to welcome the team. It's
No
a
one
great
cares
O-line
about the
room.
Raiders. Hey, DH,
very well
F you.
coached, and a lot of great personalities that we added to the mix. So excited about adding to the team. Skill set, I mean, we got some great guys out there. Excited to see what Mike can do. He's been coming off an ACL, so I haven't seen him. But I love our tight ends. You know, people were talking about us needing Brock, and we brought him in on a visit, and I heard it was a very positive visit. But I love Conklin and Rucker and Kenny Yeboah and Big Zach last year, who was we drafted late. So him and I had a lot of success late in the season, practicing together on the scout team. So I like those 4 guys. And you know, we're going to be in a lot of 12 and 21. So we need those guys to be versatile, which Brock obviously is. But I think adding Olu to the mix
I guarantee you, we're
even more
picking the
depth
first
with the
defensive
offensive line.
player.
Great pick by Joe, and we trust
Maybe
Joe.
Fuaga, but we're
excited
picking
about,
a cornerback. I guarantee you.
Hell yeah, great breakdown there, and I just learned a lot about your mindset going into next season. We talked about Brock Bowers a lot there. Brock Bowers has been selected by the Las Vegas Raiders. Congrats to Brock Bowers.
Oh, Brock Bowers.
Highest man left on the board, downstairs, Field Yates' board, I do believe.
Okay.
He is now taken by the
Tight
Raiders.
end.
This guy is a game wrecker, game changer, has been at Georgia. Grew up in wine country, NorCal, this guy.
But we got Miller, too. I don't know why we would get
I didn't
another
know that,
one.
but I know that Coach Belichick, I'm sure, enjoys some Napa Reds. So
Oh,
he
damn,
can
I don't
probably
like
give you
this
a good
pick at all,
breakdown
'cause, like, I
of,
feel like
the
we
difference
didn't
between
even
the
need
Napa
a tight
Reds and
end.
maybe the Sonoma Reds at some point, maybe during one of the breaks. But or if it gets
Dude is a
little
unit.
tiring,
Great pick for
into
LV.
day
Oh,
2 or
they
day
might
3. I don't know
transfer
if
him
you guys are on for
to
those days,
right
but
tackle.
I'm sure at some point.
Oh,
at some point,
that
Matt
might
Bell's
be
gonna
it.
get tired, and
Right
maybe,
tackle.
Maybe you'll bring in Glazer to comment a little bit.
Right, maybe tomorrow we get Jason Glazer. Bill has something for you, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, how you doing? No, I'm not that big on red wine, but big question for you. How you feeling? How you doing?
Coach, it's great to see you, first of all. Happy for you, all the opportunities that have come your way.
Yeah, well,
and
thank
I
you.
loved our conversation on the field last year. They really
Yeah,
meant a lot to me.
absolutely.
To be able to share that moment with you. But I'm feeling good. I've been
good. I
was back in Jersey for last week doing a lot of the workouts. Came back here to kind of take care of a couple things, and still, the running's been really good. Feeling good with my linear speed and increasing the miles per hour. Strength is good. Can get under squat rack and all the things I need to do. It's just a confidence. I think the last part is just to be confident enough to do all those things. It just comes from reps. I mean, the strength is great. The Achilles has absolutely zero, pain or issues. It's just the final stage of any comeback is just doing all the things you can do. Get out of the pocket, throw on the run, and feeling confident those things.
Damn,
So
I'm not
doing all
sure.
that
I'm not.
in
Bauer
Jersey.
is a dog. I'm not
Look forward
sure
to
if I'm
getting
a
back
fan,
to
though.
You look
Great.
so
Well,
cool.
I just, I have so much respect for you, and of course, never done very well against you, but I've always loved competing against you, and you add a lot to the game. So, looking forward to watching you play this year. Hope your rehab so much to the game, and you're great for the league, and look forward to seeing you play this year and not coaching against you.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Hey, I'm happy that that had to feel damn good. I mean, you've been around for 1,000 years, obviously, in the NFL. Now everybody talks about you being Mount Rushmore. Anytime Bill Belichick compliments you, it feels so good. It has to feel.
But listen,
Yeah.
when you and I were younger, and people talked about the GOAT, that was like somebody who choked, right? And then it became you were the GOAT. You fucked up. You made a mistake in crunch time and choked.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the Bill Buckner situation. God. But then it changed to greatest of all time, right? And then now.
Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Viewers went down.
To comment a little bit.
Right, maybe tomorrow we get Jason Glazer. Bill has something for you, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, how you doing? No, I'm not that big on red wine, but big question for you. How you feeling? How you doing?
Coach, it's great to see you, first of all.
Okay.
unfortunately, the Bill Buckner, situation. Everybody's a very great. I've had a lot of great people to work with. It was fun to be back out there with the guys. There's an excitement. Obviously, it's going to build. I think we'll be able to fly slightly more under the radar this year, as we're not doing. I assume we're not doing Hard Knocks, and we're a year removed from all that excitement. However, there will be a lot of excitement, and we're gonna bring it this year. I'm excited about OTAs coming up, and then having a little break and training camp, and I'm sure there's a lot of fans in New York and Jersey who should be excited about it too. We got a lot of things to accomplish this year, and we're excited about taking everybody along for the ride.
Hell yeah, the hype will continue to build. You keep doing podcasts.
Hell yeah. Keep going, Aaron.
I got a couple more coming up. So
All right. You're the light in the darkness, my friend.
Good luck with the VP race.
Yeah, good luck with everything out there. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, quarterback of the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers. Thank you.
Aaron.
Aaron's the man. 4-time MVP, right?
Yep.
4-time MVP. Coming back to play for the Jets this year. All the hype of last year carries over. They punt that thing, one thing. Yet, before we get to the tape on Bowers, which is, and we should look at because he is a phenomenal prospect, we need to get Oz back out here because Oz, the mentalist, has done numerous things tonight that has made us think that this guy's an actual witch or a demon, and we need to always have fucking eyes on this guy.
The Saints are taking their sweet-ass time.
There's somebody that we need to keep eyes on.
Shit off me, Oz.
AJ,
Oz, hold on, though. Last time you said, feels like it's been pretty boring so far.
I said the next pick's going to be, I called it. I said when I left the room, get ready for a shocker.
And the Falcons draft Michael Penix. Yeah, I have no idea how it works.
AJ. AJ, everyone always says to me, is it scripted? I want this to be random.
Here, move that mic closer, maybe.
Yeah, can you move your mic a little
closer? Closer. You know what?
Yeah,
right
that
there,
thing.
has that been attached the whole time?
Yeah, it has. It's been a pain in the ass.
Since what time?
You know what? Rip it open.
7:57.
Let's go full Hulk
we're
Hogan,
opening it.
baby.
Here we go.
Full Hulk
7:57
Hogan.
that one in. It's 9:44. Almost 2 hours.
Hold it. Oh, don't drop it.
Oh, no. I dropped it.
Okay, hold it. Check the signatures. Okay, AJ,
yes.
Can you look? Are they clumped up? I gave them a mix. Can we see with the camera? Where's the camera? We need a camera on me.
Those look
Can we
clear
get
there.
tighter?
Right there.
10?
Where'd you get them? From David Blaine or where?
No, from CVS down the street.
Oh, okay.
AJ, take the cards, look through them, and here's the thing. I want this to be random. People always say to me, is this set up? Is this scripted? There's no way it could be. Take them yourself in your own hands. AJ, that's been in his hand the whole time. Listen to me. Yeah, you can.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
care
what's
what
up?
you do.
My hands are a bit frozen, but yeah.
I want you to take, but hold on. I don't want you to look for your favorite.
Bill's booking Sean Payton right now.
There we go. Head boy Bill.
AJ, slow. Lift. No.
We'll have one of your guys.
Take off a piece.
Oh,
it could
you
be a
fucked
lot
my
or a little.
shirt. Oh, right here.
And don't look at it. Lift it up.
I'm not.
Put it against your body. That feel right?
Yeah, feels
AJ,
great.
if you don't feel like this was the right moment for you and you want to change, put it back.
All right, I'm putting it back.
AJ is in hell.
All right,
Yeah.
Bill is texting.
We're
back.
More or less. A piece.
No, that's not okay. No, I'm
Whatever you
good.
want. Is
3
that good?
times.
Good.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Stay right there, locked and loaded.
Oh, you fucked up my shirt,
That's
brother.
not my. That's you, not me.
It's good. It's
that
good.
was a nice shirt too.
That's like a $2,000 shirt.
Rip the top open.
Gucci. Yeah, sure.
Are the bottom buttons
You're
different
gonna
than
see
the top?
two things. You're gonna see a yellow envelope. Hand that to Mad Mel.
All right, Mel.
Okay?
Okay.
And there is a white piece of paper.
Yep.
Is that right? That's all that's in there. Take that out. I want you to see this. Look, AJ, you could have gone anywhere. I can't see where the camera is, but it's not on me. These cards. You changed your mind 3 times. Open that up, please. Open that up.
The white one?
Yep, open it up.
No fucking way.
No
and
way.
show us and show AJ what you got. What is that? Show us 9 turn around and show us where you're at.
You ready?
Yep, turn it around.
No way.
Shut up! This guy!
7:57. That thing was put in.
That's been in there since 7:57. Hold on. We don't stop. We don't stop, Bill. I'm bringing it over. Can we bring that closer, that second envelope, Mel?
Yeah, you bet.
How do you do that?
Closer
That's
to
been
where?
taped
No,
to
no,
his
hold on.
chest.
Bring that to Darius. Bring that to Darius.
Dave Butt. There you go.
Man, this is,
There you go, pal.
Hey, you're a demon, Oz.
Mel,
You're a hybrid.
I want to know, because everyone always thinks it's a Super Bowl, and we've been spoiled. The last couple Super Bowls have been out of control.
You shapeshifter?
Is this thing taped everywhere?
shapeshifter.
Darius, you make sure. Get in tight, close to me. Make sure we can see that. Take this little safety opener, slice the top. You want me to do it?
Careful.
Or you want to do it?
Careful with that
Come
thing.
on, don't hurt D-Butt.
Don't hurt
Don't
those
let
hands.
O's have that.
Yeah, please. We don't know what he can do with
Too
it.
I
sharp.
like how Darius is
No
showing us he
way
was
the
going
Saints
for
got
it. I like
Flava.
that.
Well,
like
no one
flex.
opens mail with
Okay,
one of
before
those
you go in,
goddamn things.
before
I mean,
we
you
do
can
a
make
deep
him disappear.
dive,
I'm sad they
you
got
see,
Fuaga.
Imagine that you know. Do you see how there's 2 different pieces
He
of
didn't
paper in
answer.
there? Imagine that you somehow know the game of the year next season. Okay, I don't know if it's first week, 16th week. I don't know if it's AFC Championship, NFC. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Okay.
But tell us, what are the 2 teams that you're seeing in this game? Say it.
Packers and 49ers.
Packers and 49. Who thinks that's a good matchup?
Oh,
What do you
great.
think,
Oh,
Coach?
man.
Great matchup.
Championship.
Can't wait for it.
And tell me, who do you think is going to win
be
that
locked.
game? Who do you think is going to win that game?
Packers 34.
Whoa, you already have the score? Hold on. I don't want to touch. Grab this out, Darius. Take that piece out. I don't want to touch the orange one.
Stop fucking touching.
Not the blue one. Not the blue one. Not the blue one. Just the orange.
Okay,
How many
who's winning?
fucking
The
things?
blue
Oh,
one.
jeez.
Pat, you hold this.
Yes,
so
sir.
no one touches.
Yeah, nobody touch it.
What did you say score was?
The Packers 34, Niners 27.
Tell me on your life. Did I tell you to say anything? Did I
You
say
did it, and I swear to God, if you get this right, I'm gonna rip
Darius.
your fucking head off.
Tell him the game of the year.
Oh, my
Read
God.
It to him, please.
Come on, bro.
Read it to
Good,
him.
bro.
Packers
Guy's a freak.
beat the 49ers
Get the fuck outta here,
34-27.
man.
Remember this screen grab when it happens this season.
What?
Oh, that's going to
So
happen
you're
too.
gonna
We
be
got to
off
remember
by
that
1 point.
with a spread.
And you
Oh, my
ready?
God.
Here's the part I told you.
That's
I was
fucking
waiting.
crazy.
The Jets, the Vikings, open that up.
Yep,
Now
yep.
it's been in there the whole time. I haven't touched anything. Is that thing stapled?
Stapled, saran wrapped,
Bill
everything.
Belichick, can you just check on the edges
What is
where it's
this?
stapled everywhere? NFL draft, both sides, check it.
It's good.
I'm not touching it. I never want to
No,
touch
no,
it.
okay.
Don't let him touch
Hey,
you,
don't
Bill.
let him look at it either, Bill.
Pat, rip it open.
Okay. Get a
Who
lot.
was our 13th pick?
Good rip, good rip. 13.
I'm
Brock
like,
Bowers.
That was Brock
When
Bowers.
we got
Brock
here,
Bowers.
we got here, I said, I'm going to open this right after the 12th pick.
Yeah.
And then we were waiting right there, and Pat said, wait one more second. I looked at you, and I mouthed, I knew you would wait. I knew Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, me, were on Hard Knocks. I knew you'd have that moment. You pushed me from 12 to 13. Open up what's been in there since 7:57.
It can't be Brock. Brock
And
was,
this
it's
group-
hard to get your hands working out
We don't
here.
want you. We don't want you to
It
see.
can't be Brock. No way.
It's got to go down.
Come on, dude.
And
There's
then-
something wrong with you.
Open it up. It says Brock Bowers, 13th
How?
pick Raider.
Fuck this guy.
Oh,
And again,
This guy's a witch.
Draft
Hey.
spectacular. It's not the draft
Oh.
mediocre.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the spectacular. So right at the bottom, unfold and start reading every unfold.
You
Unfold. Tell me
hologram
the first
thing?
pick. We all knew Caleb.
Bears, Caleb Williams.
100% we
No
knew
way.
it.
Commanders,
No.
Jaden
Jaden
Daniels.
No, don't you
Patriots, Drake May. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr.
you were
Chargers,
there.
Joe
Good job.
Will. Giants, Malik Neighbors. Titans, J.C. Latham. Michael Penix Jr. Roma Dunze. Vikings from
Traded
Jets.
with the Jets.
What? J.J. McCarthy, Jets from Vikings. Olu Fashanu, Broncos, Bo. Nixon in the 13th pick.
Oh, my God.
Bowers to the Raiders.
I'm so happy I'm not.
Oh,
That's even.
Whoa.
Taped on his chest since 7:57.
Hey,
right
hello,
now
I'm a
it
liar.
is 9:50. You're a demon.
Man.
O's,
That's fucking unbelievable.
you're a weapon.
That's
pal.
impressive.
How?
DraftKings and FanDuel just banned me for life. I'm sorry, but
I mean, yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, if
Hey.
you get some ESPN bet
boys.
and Caesars and
Good
I'm
work.
Yep,
still
ESPN bet.
profit off this. We can
Yeah,
still
clean
profit
up
off
the
it.
other sport.
Mel
offshore.
just got
Offshore.
mad. He just lifted up to his name. Austin, sorry about the shirt. It was worth
Yeah,
it.
you
It was
screw
worth
me,
it,
but
baby.
yeah, I suppose. Yep.
Bro, what was this bullshit? Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
That's
why.
the kicker. That's the kicker.
Yeah, Penix.
Oh, that's like the little.
The kicker like the player.
He didn't know
Get
who
it,
was.
Pat, the
Football.
kicker. Come
Yeah,
on.
football joke.
Penix
I
at
gotcha.
So he had Penix today, but didn't know what team. You thought maybe somebody was going to trade for Penix.
Who knows? Who knows?
Didn't want to get too close. Got it. Got it.
Sometimes you got to hedge a little. Come on.
Yeah,
You can't get it all, Pat.
Well, you have all night.
Yes.
It's been annoying, actually. Whenever we weren't even live, he was just kind of warming up with some of his demon shit. Went through Darius's phone.
My daughter's nickname, not even her real name, nickname with the emoji that I have next to it.
It was beautiful. O's, you're
Thanks,
a special
guys.
talent.
Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
rest. Stay
Thank
warm.
you.
Stay warm out
Dude,
here.
congrats.
Love you, Pat. Bill,
awesome.
a legend. A
I'm
legend.
sweat.
All right.
I'm on.
Bud.
Dude.
We love you, O's.
Hawk.
Hey,
Mad
beautiful,
Mel.
man.
Boston.
Oh, you're the
Oh,
You
leader.
gonna
Always
make,
a
you gonna
pleasure,
make some
Oz.
money doing that
Thank you
stuff.
so much.
Can you make it 20 degrees warm out here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe 40.
right
40
now.
Go talk to
Didn't
the
know what
devil.
you guys did? You guys at the Patriots, you controlled the weather, right? Can we get some
Cloud
sun?
I'll
seeding,
take
they
some,
call it.
yeah. Look, what about him? He can do it.
Yeah, O's. Turn the heat on
Storm.
him.
Is it, Bill, is that not a...
How's he do it?
What the fuck is this?
That's
Yeah.
fucking
like,
crazy.
How do you have Penix? How do you have Penix?
I think he didn't think it was going to the Falcons, though. He didn't write that. And then the Packers-Niners, 34-27. It's like,
How
what?
come we're not burning that guy at the stake?
I agree.
If this was 100 years ago, his ass is on fire
Yes.
hours ago.
Take him to Salem.
This guy's phenomenal. I'm happy we did that. You know, you need that every once in a year.
Yeah.
We still got 3 hours left, but right now, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock, and this is fantastic news. We re-signed Michael Pittman Jr. He's our dog. He shows up every single game. He will lay it on the line for the Indianapolis Colts. Perfect Indianapolis Colt. We re-signed a lot of our own guys. Jonathan Taylor now all the way in because the contract's been figured out. Anthony Richardson's coming back. What do the Colts do? Now we sit around and wait. Some people are saying corner, D-Bud.
We need it.
A little secondary help, maybe.
Yeah, we need it. We drafted Juju Brents in the second round last year. He was a good corner, was banged up last year. Kenny Moore re-signed him as well, one of the best nickel backs in the league. Blackman, we got him back at safety, but we need a legit starter out there on that edge.
How about a pass rusher?
We need that as well. So Dallas Turner, he could be the first defensive guy off the board, maybe even Verse, depending on who Ballard likes there.
Gotta jump.
Maybe even Cooper DeJean.
Maybe.
Oh, down. Some people were calling you guys as Jackie Robinson. I didn't say it.
What do you mean you got? What do you mean you got?
That's just what That's just what I've been hearing, but I'm excited about this thing either way it goes.
Cooper DeJean's the corner, right? Cooper DeJean out of Iowa, corner?
Only corner,
For
right?
the Colts, he would be. Yeah, he could play corner for the Colts.
What's that mean? What's that mean?
That's the way you said what you said.
He's a good football player now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Cooper DeJean, but I am eager to find out who the...
Latu.
Okay.
Pass rusher.
Edge.
There's your pass rusher.
Latu Edge out of UCLA. This dude took games over whenever he was playing. The only issue is that there's a little bit of injury. We talked about that in the kickoff show. There's a little bit of a medical star next to him. Obviously, he passed the Indianapolis Colts. We needed a pass rusher. You literally just said it.
Yeah, and Latu is, I mean, this guy's really versatile. He's a good football player. He can play outside at defensive end. He can move inside at 3 technique. He's a pretty good athlete. He'll play in a kicking game. He can, this is a good football player. Now, he had the injury. He played all year with it last year. So I think from a medical standpoint, like, this guy can play. Hopefully nothing else happens to him, but this guy's, he's proved he can get out there and play football this year.
Okay. Mad Mel, he's an edge. Chris Ballard going defensive side of the ball here early in the draft.
Yep, absolutely. I know Bill loves that term, edge rusher, something I kind of, brought to the mainstream not too long ago.
What does that mean?
Well,
what does it mean?
Well, he defends the edge. He plays on the edge.
Yeah,
he
but the edge would be corner.
No, he doesn't.
Well, agree to disagree here, Bill. I'm just saying,
he just disagrees.
That's the point of the saying, agree
There's
to
no
disagree.
agreeing, though.
There's no agreeing.
There's no agreeing. There's no
They're
agreeing.
agreeing to disagree, however.
Because
Yeah, but
I didn't hear Bill say
agreeing
that, but
to
yeah.
disagree. He's saying you're wrong flat
Is
out.
it edge? Is he a DN? Is he an outside backer? What is it?
Oh, he's an edge guy.
Corner?
He's an edge guy. He's not an outside
Jump,
linebacker.
jump.
He's going to play on the edge of the defensive
jump,
line, not
jump.
anywhere else. He's going to rush the quarterback from the
Three
edge
technique.
of the well, again, Bill, that's either
We'll
here
agree
or
to
there.
disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
Suck it, AJ!
Exactly, but I love this
Good
pick
job,
for the Colts. A lot of people saying, hey, this may be the best defensive player in this draft. Obviously, Colts,
got it.
a lot of other areas they
gotta
may
jump,
have needed,
jump,
but,
mommy.
too good to pass up.
No,
Just
we don't
too
have
good to
so
pass
many
up.
moves, Connor. We don't need you
Jump and
retweeting
move.
that. Bill, let's look at the film of Latu and, kind of find out what the Colts are getting with this defensive end edge. 3 technique, UCLA 6'5", 265-pounder.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about this kid. There he is,
Good
not
job.
outside.
High five.
Right there.
Come on, Mel.
Right.
High five.
He's strong. He's
My
physical.
daughter
He
just
can hold
passed
the point
fucking
of
the first
attack.
level
He's
of
really
Sonic
good in the
2.
running game. And this guy's a good pass rusher. He's really athletic.
With minimal help.
He can defeat blocks inside. You can see
The first
he gets
act
one
of
arm,
Sonic
holds
2,
the
actually.
tackle up, stands right there, can play in the hole. He doesn't have to play outside. He can play inside. He can reduce down. He can play a 5 technique, and he can play outside as well. He's a good inside rusher, too. He's really quick against these guards in there, and he's explosive off the edge. And here he is finishing against, that's Sanders from Colorado, who's a tough guy to get down at the end of the play for sure. Here's another inside pass rush from him. And again, this is Sanders. I put these in here because of just how athletic Sanders is, and it's a tough guy to finish on. So he's got power and speed. Here he is on the outside going against.
Good film!
Wow!
Look at that film, Bill. Shout out NFL Films.
And runs over the back. So really a heck of a pass rush. You can see his speed and his power on just that one play. So he can play out there, but he can play inside too. I really love this player.
We got DeForest Buckner, obviously, in the inside. We just re-signed him. We got Zaire Franklin as the tight end. We bring in Kenny Moore.
Grover Stewart
gets another deal. It feels like they're loading up on the defense. Is that something, as somebody who's been coaching in the league for so long, this particular Indianapolis Colts team needs to get better on? Or what do you think the reasoning is why Chris Ballard went with Latu here?
Well, I would say just in general, when you have a dome team like Indy or Minnesota, it's great to have those explosive players on the defensive line because of the crowd noise. It's just they're hard to block. And they just get that jump on the snap, and they're hard to block if you can play from ahead. Like when the Colts had Freeney and Mathis, and, Peyton would get them ahead. It was tough. It was just hard to block those guys. So, with all due respect to the secondary, when a quarterback can't get the ball off, you don't have to cover as long.
Oh, yeah.
That place was loud, too, huh?
Oh, man.
They're pumping in noise, right? You remember? You remember?
They are.
Dome. You were there. You were there, Coach. You remember?
That's the Indianapolis.
They were cheating. They were cheating. They were cheating. They were cheating. And no one likes to talk about it.
What's that?
Fake crowd noise?
Fake crowd noise, Bill.
Don't you
tell them. Tell them, Bill. It's horse shit.
We are about 5 minutes. I'm pumped about Latu being our pick.
Unbelievable.
He was dominant throughout the college football season. When I learned his name, I was pumped up.
Yeah.
It's a sweet name.
Yes.
So anytime I could sneak it in on game day, I was going to say it because I sounded cool saying it. And then this son of a bitch just made plays.
Yeah.
Made plays. The medical seemingly not that big a deal. We'll have Chris Ballard on here in a few minutes to kind of explain to us why we went with this. And, some people thought maybe weapons. Some people maybe thought corner. Instead, we're getting to the quarterback, which is beautiful. Sean Payton will be joining us in a matter of a couple moments. Bill was booking that while Oz was doing the card trick. So there's actually a camera shot of Oz talking his life away to AJ, and you're just on your phone, okay? And we didn't have your mic muted. You turn to me, you go, 10 o'clock, okay? And it's like, you're the man. Thank you for doing that. Adam Peters.
Weapon.
Now we're getting Sean Payton on, who obviously drafts Bo Nix. We appreciate the hell out of you, Bill.
Yeah.
It's cold as shit up here.
Thought you just didn't want to listen to O's playing Candy Crush. Just like, I don't care about this guy. I'll just stick around on my phone.
I thought there was a chance. Jane Slater at NFL put out a tweet that said, as we all sit in shock over Atlanta's pick, a source tells me Kirk Cousins is just as shocked and disappointed. Never said anything to him or his reps about a QB in the first round, despite suggesting they would. Still, it's a business. You're making 9 figures, Kirk Cousins with Atlanta. I think you're in a good spot. We don't understand why they brought him in either, but if you're getting paid over $100-some million, I think you're going to be the guy that's taking the snaps. I don't know football as well as you, but that is kind of how the NFL works out, right?
We'll see what their plan is.
Oh, wait, you benched Drew.
Wow. Oh, yeah. After the $100 million contract.
Whoa. This is the perfect man to be talking to about this entire thing. When you made that decision, Drew, Tom Brady over Drew Bledsoe for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I think whenever they were both healthy.
Well, it was mid-season, and then after the Pittsburgh playoff game, then it was for the Super Bowl, yeah.
But when you're making that decision, we watched a documentary about that. It's a massive decision to be made. If it was made now, it would be a huge story. How much pressure is there from ownership, fans, public perception, money, because it is a business, that you have to make that decision?
Well, I think you feel like they're behind you, win or tie. No, win.
Yeah, you think.
So, but look, that's what you get paid for. You get paid to make the decisions that are best for the team, and that's what I try to do. Whatever was best for the team, I mean, look, there's loyalty to the players, but in the end, you have to pick the guy that's going to help the team win the most, and that's what it comes.
So there's a fuck you, AJ chant, I think, happening.
Oh, that's good. I can't even hear him. That's the problem. You can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. It's tough to do anything right now, but the crowd is still zeked up about the draft. Joining us now, the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts, who just brought Latu into Indianapolis. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Ballard.
Hey, Chris! Look at that hair.
Whoa, so cool. So cool right now, Chris. The hair, the jawline. You look awesome. Hey, okay, Chris, we don't want to take up too much of your time. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. You come every year. You're the man. There was a potential neck, a little bit of an injury, some medicals. He passed your board, I assume, with the doctors. And why did you go with edge or pass rusher in the first round this year, Chris?
Well, one, I don't think you can ever go wrong drafting guys that can rush the passer. And we thought very highly of him. And 2 years of play time on the neck. We felt comfortable with where he is and where he's at. Got 2 years of really good tape. and he just adds fuel. We think our front has got a chance to be a pretty special now, with the addition of Latu.
Well, C.J. Stroud obviously in the division having the year that he had last year, and with what the Tennessee Titans are doing, the AFC South has gotten better quickly. Are you drafting for AFC South reasons, for
Toxic
total
Crusader.
team reasons? Is he the highest guy on the board? Or
Caitlyn
what do you think
Jenner?
the
No,
final
mama.
decision was made for Latu at the time?
I know Caitlyn when I
I don't
see him. That's
think
wild.
you can ever have enough rushers, no matter. I mean, in a team building setting, and we always do what's best for the team. And we had Latu pretty high on the board. Being the first defensive player taken in this draft, we were a little shocked that we had a feeling it could happen, but excited that it happened.
Yeah, we're pumped too. I got a chance to watch him in college, obviously. Electrifying. And sweet name. Mad Mel has a question for you, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
No, bet he does.
Well, listen,
okay.
hey, when we talked at the scouting combine, I told you, hey, listen, you guys got needs at cornerback, you got needs at tight end, you got needs at receiver. We didn't exactly discuss edge rusher or D end. Are you considering maybe moving back up into the first round after this pick and kind of filling out your roster with one of those guys who I suggested you take in order to kind of take the Colts over that hump and get you back into the playoffs?
Well, I wouldn't tell you if we were.
Thank you.
Thing.
Thank you, Chris. Go to hell, Mad
Wow.
Well, stop trying
And
to
we think there's some good players in the second, third. There's always, it's always great to hear the pundits talk about what they think is good in the draft. We think there's good depth at throughout the draft at different positions. So we think we'll be able to help our team going forward as we get into the second, third, and fourth rounds.
Darius has a question for you, Chris.
Hey, Chris, great to see you. Great pick, adding to another strength
Good to see you.
on that team. I want to ask you about our quarterback, our franchise guy, Anthony Richardson. Obviously, we've seen him a little bit on social media. But how's he doing? How's his spirits? And how is he physically right now?
No, physically really good. Watched him throw 65 balls yesterday, so he looks really good. Spirit's good. Now it's just, continuing to finish his rehab up and be ready for OTAs when we start that up here, phase 2 here in a week.
Hey, Chris, obviously leading into the draft, there's a bunch of bullshit narratives. We're a part of the problem every single day. We know that. Connor has a question for you, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, obviously with the Marvin Harrison connection, there was that thought that Jim Irsay comes in smoking a cigarette or two and saying, hey, Chris, I don't care who you want, trade up and go get him. Was that ever a thought for you guys, or were you always sitting pat, comfortable with whoever fell to you?
We always have discussions on, is there a chance to get up if we think there's a special player. This year it worked out. We stayed at 15 and took a guy that we thought was the best player on the board.
Okay, Chris, we appreciate you. There's been a trade. Another defensive tackle has been taken, and you have the rest of the weekend to continue to build our program in Indy. We appreciate you, pal.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me on.
Anything to say to Bill?
Coach Belichick, when you come back in the league, go in the NFC.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Ballard.
Yeah, Chris.
Great lettuce.
Hey, great lettuce.
Yeah,
My God.
That's a great line.
He's
Go to
on
the
it.
NFC.
He's jacked too. Like he's doing some real focusing on the gym and the dieting and everything. Okay, so Byron Murphy, the second, was drafted out of Texas to the Seahawks, and now the Vikings have traded up to pick number 17 for 23, 167, and a 2025 third and a 2025 fourth, as the Vikings now get back up in and do a little bit of movement to see who they're going to get next. So we got the Seahawks taking the second defensive player with Byron Murphy off the board. So we assume that they saw those two guys as high up as the defensive prospects. So let's go, as the run happens here, let's go ahead and get our guy. And then now we have a trade with the Vikings making a move back in. D-Butch, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking defense again. I think we get a little running here on defensive players. Is it a rush? Is it Dallas Turner? Is it one of the corners?
Yeah.
I'll be excited about this pick. There's a lot of needs obviously on that roster right now, so I'm excited about them jumping back into the first round. This is the action that we wanted to see on draft night, and now it's about let's see who they take.
They've missed the playoffs, obviously, last offseason. They lose their quarterback. They have to pay Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison has blossomed into a superstar. They had about 5 different quarterbacks, and last year, all the blessing from the football gods 2 years ago seemed to disappear for them completely. Now they got a new quarterback in the building. They're making moves again to jump up there, looking to maybe, turn this thing around quickly in Minnesota.
Well, and you got to think they look around a little, and they see the Bears, Dunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. They see the Packers, the youngest wide receiving core, possibly possibly the best when we see the Lions with Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta. Like, it really does feel as though this is where that defense run happens. Then maybe later on in the draft is when guys start trading back in for those tackles, wide receivers that are still there.
Let's go down to our draft board in our War Room dojo with Tone Diggs. Defense starting to heat up, Tone.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with everything that you guys are saying. When you look at the trade, when they go up to 17, their top draft need now is corner. And when you go and you take a look at the horizontal, Quinyon Mitchell is the best corner left over. And there's only 3 guys left, top of the first round. They're all defense.
Yeah, we got the pick. It's not a corner. It's actually Dallas Turner.
Okay.
There.
Let's go.
It was very high in field.
Another high defensive player.
Yeah, bingo. And they bring in Dallas Turner in there to shore up a little bit on the outside edge in the NFC North.
Well,
that is.
he is, yeah.
Oh, what does that mean?
Well, no, Turner is really an end-of-the-line player. I mean, I see him a little more as he's a defensive end outside linebacker. He's got really good coverage skill if you want to use him that way. And he's, clearly a good rusher on the end of the line of scrimmage. I think one of the things that's interesting is 10 years ago, the outside rushers made over 50% more than the defensive tackles. Here in 2024, that gap is close to 5 or 6%. So the money's being given to these defensive tackles and these inside guys, more than it has been in the past. So
how come?
Yeah, why?
Well, their value.
Is it to get the quarterback off the spot? Because these quarterbacks now,
off the spot.
you don't be able to stand there and have a clean
A lot of
pocket.
quick throws, get somebody at the middle, and complement the guys that are coming from the outside, because if there's no pressure inside, then he steps up and those guys can't come into play. So there's nothing that helps an outside pass rusher more than pressure up the middle.
Fort Lauderdale guy too, South Florida. You mentioned IMG. St. Thomas Aquinas, he's a prospect of there, and they got the most guys in the league, I think, from real high school. IMG is
St. Thomas Aquinas, yeah.
Not in the last 6 years. Not in the last 6 years.
It's real.
It's a little different down there.
Aquinas is a great program. It's a great
Thomas
program. And look, if we want to see a great high school game next year, I'm telling you what, IMG against Bergen Catholic, August 29th in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Okay.
There's a matchup now. Bergen Catholic.
What day of the week is that?
I don't know.
Friday. We go stay
Friday Night Live.
Yeah.
Can I stay with Michael Lombardi?
Stay with Mike in Ocean City.
Yeah.
We got IMG Bergen Catholic in Ocean City, New Jersey.
I love
That'll
that.
kick off the season high school football.
Okay, we're going to do a live show from that, it sounds like. Will you be joining us?
All right.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, boom.
deal.
Get that in writing.
Yeah. Locked.
Yep.
It's locked. That's,
TM, put on the ticker, maybe.
he's in there.
Yep.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, head coach for the Denver Broncos. Ladies and gentlemen, just got booked by Bill Belichick while Oz the Mentalist was doing a card trick and a draft pick and a fortune-telling joke. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Payton.
Yeah,
Hey,
coach.
Sean.
There you go, Coach.
How are you guys doing? Look, I'm going to be honest, Pat. Bill and I have done a number of trades a heck of a lot faster than coming on this show. And so you guys are talking about like Ocean City, New Jersey. There's picks happening out here. Excited to be on, and always appreciate you guys.
Hey, we'll waste as much time as possible for you. You got nothing going on as you're trying to rebuild this entire team. Let's talk about it. Obviously, you guys move on from Russell Wilson, $85 million in dead salary cap. There was a lot of expectation for you to go young at the quarterback position. Bo Nix was tied to you quickly throughout this draft process. How come? What did you see from him, and why did you ultimately make the decision?
Yeah, well, a couple things. We have a hard time controlling the outside narrative relative to who might go where, and certainly there's been a lot of comparisons, whether it's to Drew, but we tried to really go into this process and look at each one of these guys, and fortunately for us, we had a lot of them have a ton of playing experience. Both played 6 years, and then we start doing the studies, and we're comparing Drake, and we're kind of then narrowing it down because we're looking at Drake, we're looking at JJ, we're looking at Penix. We don't know where we're going to be at with Daniels and certainly Caleb. So we get to a point where we're really spending time, taking visits. And one of the things we like to do is, on the night before we get to the school on a private workout, 5 p.m., we're going to send them 3 days of installation. We're going to try to send them maybe more than they can get from 5 p.m. till the next morning at 9 when we're there, and just kind of get an idea of where it stops. and all of these guys handled that well. And so we do the same thing with Bo, and when we get up there, like I don't know what time he got to the office, but I felt like he was in a hotel room with a do not disturb sign on, coffee, the whole thing.
Go down too.
And because their work week is pretty stressful, and he's super intelligent. We have his center from a year ago, Alex Forsyth, who's very smart. And the thing that we kept finding with him is, because you're trying to be number one, we start with the things that they can do. It's easy to start with the things they can't do, and his coach is like, what can he do? And then so analytically, you remove the short passes. He's got to play in the offense he's in, but first on third down, first with fewest sacks, the most accurate passer in college football history, first at the end of the half 2 minute, first at the end of the game in 2 minutes, second in red zone, fewest sacks, first in time to get. So number one, he's extremely smart. He handles the protections, and he's a tough sack. I mean, the ball comes out, and at times, he can hang in a longer, maybe with a progression. But I think, aside from the mental, then that day, and even his pro day, his arm strength was extremely impressive. He does throw it from a noisy pocket. Some quarterbacks need that full stride step, and we felt like, a lot of times he just took that little 2-inch pop step to get the ball out. Mm-hmm. And you get to a point, and I remember saying this in our ownership meeting, and I said, we can't be the only ones seeing this. Like, in other words, despite, we got to avoid the NFL train, because the NFL train will just take you into a quarry.
Yep.
And so you're working our ownership group, and George and I and the scouts, and I think it's harder now for the scouts and assistant coaches not to hear that outside noise and be affected by all of that, and really just close the doors and pay attention to what you see. And it got a little hairy there when Atlanta took Penix, because we thought as soon as we cleared the Giants, we felt like, all right, Minnesota's going to get their guy. And we could call up the Vikings and Raiders. We all kind of knew who each other wanted and said, look, don't do anything foolish here. So, but we were excited.
All right, well, it sounds like you got your guy. You just rattled off a bunch of stats. You've obviously done your homework, and now a new era in Denver begins. Bill's got something for you, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, we were talking about this at the beginning of the show. Nix has played a lot of football. He's played a lot of good football, and it kind of felt like the short passing game was, the product of the system, but he could definitely get the ball down the field. And, it looks like he's nobody's NFL ready, but I'd say of the college quarterbacks, he's probably pretty close to being NFL ready. And, like you said, the best quarterback in the pocket, best in those situations. There's a lot to like about this kid. And he wins. And he wins.
Yeah, so look, they play in 2 big games against Oregon, and you say, all right, let's take a peek at this first game. Drives them down the field. They got a chance to win. They miss a field goal. I also like the fact that he's had some adversity, and look, he was in Auburn. He battled back, and I think, a completely different offense. So I asked these. Listen, this analytic group that we have here, we've got 5 of these guys and I said, look, take all the intermediate short throws out. I want to see how he stacks. And so we got rid of all the quick screens, the bubbles, because he can't control. That's his offense when they're calling those plays. And remove all that. First in yards per completion, and so it kept coming back. And the thing that was most impressive, and we have these things. Pat and Bill knows that we have critical factors. We don't want linebackers that can't tackle, receivers that can't. I mean, there's certain things that are musts.
Yes.
And I think it's hard. I think it's hard to be an NFL quarterback if you're not somewhat accurate. And watch his pro day, and then we were there for the pro day, and then our private workout was the following day. We threw 80 more balls, and I can't think of a pass where and so. The first sign of an inaccurate quarterback is when you're throwing these shorter routes, because the ball's got to be on the right shoulder. It's got to be on the, for the back. it's a little bit easier down the field to stretch the ball and maybe hide your accuracy deficiencies. And so, man, it was impressive. And I just remember we got in the car afterwards, and I just looked around and I said, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, the other thing was I was surprised how big he's 6'2", 218 pounds. You know, it's hard sometimes when you play on the West Coast. Your games are on at 9 p.m. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is trust in what you're seeing. And I say that respectfully. Everyone has jobs to do, and it's always like, well, manage the draft. This is, you know, they could have backed up and got him, and I heard that with Patrick Mahomes when Kansas City took him, and I'm like, well, they couldn't have backed up and got him because we were taking him with the next pick.
Yeah.
So I think. Look, before Penix was taken, we were discussing like a slight wiggle. And then you start looking at it and saying, is it worth the risk for a third-round pick? And I'm just glad it worked out in our favor. He's excited. Shoot, he's the son of a coach and the son of a former player. And I just like, you know, it's harder to be a gym rat these days.
Oh,
and I like the fact that he's one of them.
Yeah, hell yeah. It sounds like you got a great fit over there. We're excited to watch you two grow together. Maybe Kevin James comes in and coaches him up a little bit too. You never know. It might be the right play. Have a great night. We appreciate the hell out of you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, we appreciate you, and Bill, we miss you. And like the one thing we said this at the start of the draft, you know, as we get older and these other coaches and GMs get younger, you don't know who's ready to make the deal, like when you need to on a spot. And I always appreciate, you know, Bill and I have had a ton of times where in 8 seconds we could do a trade or not do one. And I think it's harder with a lot of these younger GMs. And so as we get older, there's less people that maybe you feel like that you could pick up the phone and call. So we certainly miss you during this time period.
Appreciate it, Sean. A ton of respect for you, and you know, congratulations.
All right, thank you guys. We'll see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of Denver Broncos, Sean Payton. Thank you, Sean. Okay, Amarius Mims just got drafted to the Bengals. There's been some moves, there's some trades. We're going to take a pick off. We're going to go to the bathroom, try to warm this place up a little bit. When we come back, Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, will join us. New quarterback, new D tackle. Plus, we'll wrap up this beautiful 2024 NFL draft with all the shit that could potentially happen. We've had surprises. We've had teams change course. How will this night end? Hopefully with us not freezing our asses off. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Take 5. Bye. Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the time where you're contractually obligated to, so I appreciate you guys being here.
I want to be here. I just want you to know.
Come on.
I have watched you do your thing, man. Nothing but respect and praise to you.
Can you touch this? Me too. Boys, you're calling a national championship again, Ty Schmidt.
Unbelievable. Should we be here?
No!
Probably not.
No way. I kicked the ball to myself on that.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, I kicked the ball to myself.
That's right. Should have told CJ.
Maybe the most athletic thing I've ever done in my entire being. Well, CJ, yeah, happy to see you.
Completely ruined.
Everybody's happy to see you.
I picked him to win. All right.
CJ. Congratulations on winning the AFC South as a
It's a big deal. First time ever.
Okay. That's a big deal, CJ. Dude, you're absurd, bro.
Thank you.
For how young you are?
Playing in Indianapolis, that was probably the loudest stadium I played in NFL.
Wow.
That was like a college atmosphere.
How about that? Pete, you got 2 knees, 2 ankles?
2 knees, 2 ankles, and some big boy pants that slide up around.
Move along like I know you can.
That guy's penis go. That guy had a lot of courage. Of course.
It's ice cold in there.
You
ice
try
cold.
it.
It's the first documented button dick.
You got this, baby.
Game day. That's what's being said. I didn't come up with that. That's what's being said.
It was our show, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Then it was a 2-hour gap. Then it was game day, straight in national championship field pass.
I missed out who the Bengals picked.
Older and these so.
Back, new D tackle. Plus, we'll wrap up this beautiful 2024 NFL draft with all the shit that could potentially happen. We've had surprises. We've had teams change course. How will this night end? Hopefully with us not freezing our asses off. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Take 5.
5.
You do it. You do it. Play, mommy.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the time where you're contractually obligated to, so I appreciate you guys being here.
I want to be here. I just want you to know.
Come on.
I have watched you do your thing, man. Nothing but respect and praise for you.
Will you touch this? Me too, man.
Number 2 overall.
Boys, you're calling a national championship again, Kai Schmidt.
Unbelievable. Should we be here?
No!
Probably not.
No way. I kicked the ball to myself on that.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, I kicked the ball to myself.
That's right.
Should have told CJ.
Maybe the most athletic thing I've ever done in my entire being. Well, CJ, happy to see you.
Completely ruined.
Everybody's happy to see you.
I picked him.
Really
I picked him to win. I'm all right.
CJ, congratulations on winning the AFC South as a quarterback.
It's a big deal. First time ever. You okay?
That's a big deal, CJ. Dude, you're absurd, bro.
Thank you.
For how young you are?
Playing in Indianapolis, that was probably the loudest stadium I played in NFL.
Wow.
That was like a college atmosphere.
How about that? Pete, you got 2 knees, 2 ankles?
2 knees, 2 ankles, and some big boy pants that slide up around.
Move along, like I know you can. Move along.
That guy's penis gone. That guy had a lot of courage.
It's ice cold in there. It's ice cold.
It's the first documented button dick. Game day set. That's what's being said. I didn't come up with that. That's what's being said.
It was our show, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Then it was a 2-hour gap. Then it was game day, straight in national championship field pass.
For 2 schools that are going to be talking about this day for the rest of their lives. Both of these teams being chastised from all different angles. Washington, there's no way this team from the Pac-12 in their last year with Kalen DeBoer as the head coach can continue to win. They're going to stumble somewhere. They didn't. Then you think about Michigan. 2 separate suspensions for their head coach, and all they've done is stay the course. And tonight, banners, rings, reunion conversations forever on the line. What an honor it is to be here. Look at his belt buckle like yours, man. Belt buckle. Like with some light ranching to do down here in Houston. He comes out of his cuts, he sees people, he shakes them, and he doesn't look anywhere near as small as you would think. He's powerful. I love Blake. A lot of NFL GMs are saying, wait a second, is Michael Penix maybe one of the top 3 guys to go to the NFL? Because what he does with the football is stupendous.
Yeah, tío.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the national championship game for the 2023 college football season. That'll see the Washington Huskies representing the Pac-12 in its final year, taking on that team led by that man, the Michigan Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh. We're bouncing. We are house calling. Donovan Edwards, touchdown in the national championship. Extra point is up and good. D-Bud with the one-hand grab to start the national championship. And maybe D-Bud. One man. What's the decibels over there? Yeah, Pat, the decibels are high right now. Let me tell you, it's 106.4. This might be the line. At decibel meter, we have actual gimmicks. Depending upon tonight, does JJ go to the NFL, which Mel Kiper has him as the 5th-rated quarterback in the draft? What does that mean, Mel?
Well, you know, it means that he's got the physical and tangible tools in his head to be a first-round quarterback. I think whether he wins or loses. Oh, no.
Donovan Edwards.
This team is a
That's been doing it? And how has he gotten to a level where he's the best in the game?
He's been a Michigan man for quite some time now. And obviously, he wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for that pesky bastard Connor Stallions. But Coach Harbaugh, you know, he found a
The
place.
pick is in.
A beautiful moment.
Who did the
between
Steelers
Harbaugh
pick?
brothers on the sideline. The one on the right there, number 1 seed in the AFC. The one on the left, up 17-3 in the national championship. Third option, McMillan touchdown with a flag on Michigan. That'll stand 17-10. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-o! Michigan has the rock. Tony dropped his mic. Tony dropped his mic. Oh, no.
Oh, no need.
Welcome back to the national championship where elite athletes perform and Tone Diggs does something to embarrass his entire family.
I'm ready if Penix goes down. Sling. Boom!
Snap, handoff, play Cora. Has blockers. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Michigan. Penix is left. He hasn't looked there yet. And the Michigan Wolverines are going to be national champions for the first time in a long time. Oh, yes, we got a streaker, security spearing a guy's losing his pants. Cop's on top of him. Wow. Cross body. Wow. Cop's got his knee on his sternum. Say, listen, Michigan man.
Oh. Bag him and tag him, boys.
I think Pink Shirt pulled a quad.
Pink Shirt was not ready.
What a win, dude.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell through. I think. How old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Mitt. Owen, how old are you?
Oh, my
I am
life.
Promise you on everything I did not fart.
Who runs your Twitter account?
AB. I do.
What's this all about? I would like to know, in that situation where your butthole started talking, what did I do?
I'm here to be serious with you, man.
What are you, chugging a glass of milk, eating some fruit over there, get you some coffee, get that butthole a little bit more active?
I haven't ate. I'm eating yogurt. I have 1,000 text messages right now of people going, oh my gosh. I'm like, I just wanted to have like a quiet Tuesday.
I don't even know why we're going to have another hour. Maybe run that clip.
Yeah. On loop.
We have the video. Shams, let's let you judge here.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's... I need to hear the context. I want to give our guy...
Oh, Shams, shut up! He said it sounded like a fart.
What did AJ vote?
It's a fart all day long, Kirk. You know that.
Has anybody voted no?
Dan.
I'll be the captain of Team No today.
We need you to do a tie-breaking vote. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's...
There's no doubt. I mean, I like how he just kept on going right there.
When he was talking, he didn't even break stride as that thing came out. He went and got the buggy, went to the store, grabbed some dude wipes to wipe those ass cheeks, just like I assume you do as well, Cabal.
You have to go dry, wet, dry. Toilet paper, white toilet paper. If not, you're really risking the rest of the day having the swamp ass. You know, Dan Orlovsky, man, he got to accept that, man. He got to wear that with a pride. One thing that really bothers me when people do not take credit for it. You know, if somebody says, oh, that was you that farted, I get upset when it wasn't me. I'm like, no, when have I ever not claimed it when it was mine? You should claim it.
What all those airports? People are traveling today, looking up at the ESPN. Dan Orlovsky farts. What's wrong with this guy?
The closed captioning person, whoever it is, they got it. I believe it said inaudible.
That is the home of the annual league meeting. It is wonderful down here in Florida. Jim Harbaugh was showcasing to me why he doesn't like the hip drop tackle. He was actually wrapping his massive arms around me and then saying, this is what we're trying to get out.
Jim Harbaugh's rules. This is his business card that he gave me.
Jim Harbaugh's rules to live by. You guys are drafting Caleb Williams #1 overall.
We'll see.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Woo! You did it. When RG3 comes out, you heard it. Yeah. Okay.
I think accuracy, is the #1 trait that NFL quarterbacks need to have.
Oh, so Penix.
Okay.
I think accuracy is the number one.
Okay.
trait.
Didn't say no.
Oh! Easy, K. Don't give anything up. Hey, you got a lot of leverage right now.
I'm not sure if you know this or
pretty.
not, but you
He's
guys
got
are
big
taking
eyes.
wide receiver in the first
big
round,
eyes.
is what I'm being told, and everyone.
Hey, congratulations
Hey,
for doing that.
Good class for
Way
it.
to go.
Just the first round?
Whoa.
Got 11 picks.
I thought the most impressive thing about it was a lot of people had the sense that this was going to happen, and not one person uttered it. It was a completely respect-driven thing for Aaron to let him do it the way he needed to and wanted to because he deserved that.
Obviously, I had nothing to do with the offense, but I made sure I had a conversation with Jameis every day, just for myself. It was like self-motivation.
Are you a bobcat or a deer girl?
Boom. Okay. That's good news.
I think that was like a deer, guys.
1, 2, 3, all locked, you think?
I don't know that yet.
Who could jump up there? Who could pack it?
Caleb Williams, I agree with it, 1.
Okay.
My guess would be Jaden Daniels at 2. And 3, there has been a lot of Drake May conversation. Here's the thing. These things, they just change.
Shafty. Sounds like you know more than what you're leading on right now.
Do I think they'll ultimately stay and make the pick at 3? My guess would be yes.
Fucking thank God, Jesus Christ.
If it's going to cause you that much agita, I'm going to definitely see if I can find out some more stuff that will give you more heart palpitations.
Oh, Shafty!
You don't need to be a prick. I just want a quarterback so I can root for football again.
Feels like that's probably the case. Conman's got a question for you. Man.
Yeah, Shefty, excuse me.
Oh, no.
What? I am so so sorry.
You don't want Hello
You know
Kitty?
what?
That's okay. I don't hold it against you.
Can you kick one of those shoes up here?
He says rap sheet. I'll get your kids on there too. That's pretty sweet.
We went to Venice and they had an artist draw it on it.
In Italy?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Caboli.
Oh, no.
Stop laughing, Gump.
Well, it's a tough chair.
Ready, 1, 2, 3, jump.
Got an ACL.
Schultz, I'm gonna be honest. I thought we were out of here, but then I see you over there. You did not ruin it. This is a good piece of juice here to get out of here.
Here. No? Okay, I'm gonna turn it off, okay? Here then.
Welcome
'Cause I don't
back
have Barbie
to
in this one.
Detroit, Michigan, the home
Okay,
of the
let me see if I can put the
2024
other one in.
NFL Draft. We've been lucky to be covering it all night. There's been some wild shit that's already taken place. There's been some surprises. We are currently on pick number 21 with the Miami Dolphins, which is in as we speak.
Let's go.
We took a break to go to the bathroom. Tone Diggs, let's go down to the draft board to kind of see what has taken place while we've been gone. And congrats to your Pittsburgh Steelers getting Fautanu, left tackle out of Washington.
Thank you, Pat. Yeah, since we were gone, we had just talked about Dallas Turner going to Minnesota after they had traded up. And then Cincinnati went with one of their needs at O-tackle with Amarius Mims, the tackle out of Georgia, who was very, very good when he played, but only played 8 games, so there was a bit of a concern there. Jared Verse, the edge out of Florida State, goes to the Rams. They made their first pick, I think, in like 35 years after they traded them all away.
Yep.
I know Bill, I think, is very high on Jared Verse. And yes, the number 10 overall player on Field Yates' big board.
Give him an A.
Huh? Yeah,
him an A
give him
plus.
an A. Give him an A. We go back-to-back years, taking O-lineman Broderick Jones last year. Thank you for that, Bill. Fautanu this year. You build from up front, especially with Artie Smith. That's where we're at now. And then going Miami on the clock right now.
Okay, the Dolphins pick has already happened, but they're waiting to announce it in a matter of moments, so we'll see what that is. Let's go back. He said that you like that Jared Verse out of Florida State. Let's look at some of the film and find out why, Bill.
Yeah, really like Verse. This kid, of course, transferred down to Florida State, and he really had an impact on the team. He can sort of like Latu, can play outside, can play inside, powerful, explosive. There's so much to like about this guy. Here he is against Barton from Duke, down at the bottom here, just power rushing Barton. You can see this kid's a very explosive, tough player, and that's Fisk, number 55, beside him. Who may end up going later in the first round, or I'm sure in the second. So those two guys really helped the Florida State defense. It's one of the best in the country this year.
I appreciate the fact that Verse and his Florida State team were so damn good. They're undefeated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were.
Yeah, so here he is again, a power rush, very explosive guy, can handle the running game in the C-gap off-tackle areas. And then, here he is again, shedding the block, so kind of snatching that tackle, coming inside. He gets off blocks well. He attacks the pocket well, and he's got a lot of power.
Dog craves power.
It does crave power. They lose Aaron Donald to retirement. Obviously, they bring back another pass rusher. Rams' first-round pick in a long time.
Yeah, 7 years.
Feel like pass rusher's not a bad. That's like a safe, right? If you can get to a quarterback, you're going to win games regardless.
Yeah, well, you got to stop the run to rush the passer, and that's one thing Verse can do. He can handle the run, and he can rush. So you earn the right to rush the passer by stopping the run and getting ahead. That's how you earn that right. So, if you
it's
can
like
stop
wide
the run,
receivers blocking, right? Same thing. You earn the ball if you block down the field as wide receivers.
Bill says, hey, receivers, I remember this in the team meeting vividly. Wide receivers, you got 2 fucking jobs. Get open and catch the ball.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind then.
Hey, if they can't get open and catch the ball, they're no good in the passing game. I can't get open, I can't catch the ball. I'm no good in the passing game.
Yeah, bingo. I love that. So we got edge rusher, Verse going to.
Can we ease up on the edge rusher? He's a defensive end.
Well, that's an
the
old
end
position.
now.
That position's dead now.
Well,
It's edge.
you mentioned it. He's a defensive end, but he's really more of an edge in my eyes when you look at it. I think you mentioned he can play the run. He can pass rush off the edge. That's why we call him the edge rusher. Very balanced player, Bill. I agree with your assessment. I'm a little surprised he actually fell this low. High motor, explosive first step, violent hands. Love this kid.
Yeah. Bill actually didn't like where Field had him ranked.
Yeah, he would help any team.
Yeah,
and he's a good player.
That Florida State defense could fly around.
Yeah.
Now, the Dolphins pick is in. We know what it is. We're not allowed to say it.
No.
We're not allowed to say it.
No.
Well, there's been a little bit of ruffled feathers, I guess.
Yeah, who's mad?
Wow.
Well, if the brass came down, fuck them.
No, well.
Well, what'd you have for dinner last night? Did you have steak? Did you have chicken? Did you have a pork chop, maybe? What was the one that you had?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Well, just
He loves
going
pork
through
chops, I thought.
Yeah, I'm a big pork chop guy, so I wasn't sure if that.
Well, I'm an end guy.
my brother.
I like the end of the pork chop.
Okay. And
Connor,
okay.
I had a pork chop. I think Mr. Robinson was the guy that served it to us.
Oh, is that right? Oh, this is you, Mrs. Robinson.
In the trenches. Who does in the trenches?
So,
Albie?
you're talking about. You're Penn State's AQ
Top
Shipley.
Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Whoa,
What,
no.
Bill?
Don't you do it.
What'd you say?
Bill!
I was guessing.
Bill, don't get us kicked out of the ground. Jeez Louise. They're going to send the NFL security right over here and kick us off the ground.
Maybe even drones. They might just fly into this thing and just destroy everything.
I do believe there's been a creative group of drunks behind us that have started throwing things up in the sky behind us to get in the shot. I think I saw a cell phone with a flashlight on thrown at least 20, 30 feet in the sky down here.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there. Yep.
That's a good move, buddy.
If you're still here at this time with how chilly it is, you're a real legend. We appreciate these people. They're saying, I got a text from NFL PR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. McCarthy here is his name.
Okay.
275,000 fans were the attendance tonight, breaking the all-time day one draft record set in 2019 in Nashville with 200,000. So they're saying 275,000 people came through here throughout this evening.
Whoa.
And some of those shots we had, Bill, right behind you.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Bill, it's right behind you. Some of those shots we saw from earlier, place was packed out.
Oh, yeah.
Way to go, Detroit.
I'm going to take a picture
Unreal.
of this.
Well, Bill, it's getting empty, Bill. It's getting empty.
Yeah, it wasn't
You
it's not as packed,
missed it,
Bill.
You missed it.
It's packed
You
now.
missed it.
That Hutch poster, it looks 10 times doper at
It's
night.
still a scene.
Sick.
Yeah, the problem with the poster is it's lying, but
What do you mean?
no dreams have ever been made.
I think you might be wrong, Conrad.
Pat, there was a really cool moment when we were walking with Bill earlier when he got up onto the draft stage and turned around and looked out like to take it all in. It was one of the cooler things I've seen in my life.
Yeah, there's a lot of Bill chants in these cities. I'm happy you're getting your flowers. Now, let's do what you've done for 48 years. Let's look at that draft board with the Eagles on the clock, okay? Let's do a little look-see at what the team needs are, what our best available is.
Well, this is perfect. This is perfect.
Okay.
Eagles want a corner, and there they are. They're up there.
Yeah.
So this is easy pick. We're going right to the corner.
Well, I mean, I think so. Look, there's been hardly any defensive players off the board. A couple of defensive linemen, defensive ends, Mel.
Yep.
All right, but, it's Mitchell, Arnold. The question is, who do they like? Who do they like? And then, there's a lot of guys there. So,
Terry and Arnold.
this might be a spot where if they don't like the top corner, which I would say all these corners are a little bit of, what flavor is it? If they don't like any of the top corners,
Oh, you're talking about the white one? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Vanilla?
I'm saying you got Kool-Aid, you got Arnold, you got Mitchell. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for and how it fits on your defense. If you want a man-to-man guy,
Penn State, nice.
I'm not sure that Mitchell is your guy. I'm not sure that Cooper is your guy. If you want a man-to-man guy, maybe it's somebody else on there. You know, if you want just a good football player, guy that can return punts, then Cooper is your guy.
Yeah.
So,
What about the Philadelphia Eagles defense right now that they need corner, and what type of corner are they looking for?
You got good edges. You need corner. You got Slay, who's getting up there a little bit, but still a dog, still a very good corner. Bradbury didn't have a great year last year.
That's right.
You need a good guy that can come in there and play early. They drafted the corner out of Georgia last year in the second round.
Ringo?
Ringo, I believe they drafted him. But I would love to see Arnold go in this pick right here in this slot.
But this might be a place where if you feel like maybe you trade back and take one of those corners, figure like there's not going to be 3 corners going if you move back 5 or 6 spots. So it'd be interesting to see how they handle this. But there's a corner there for him somewhere.
Vic Fangio, him coming over from Philly, what kind of defense does he like to have, at least in the secondary, as far as man or zone?
Well, Vic mixes it up. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. It's half of it's split safety, half of it's post safety. It's all man to man. It's either man to man or it's matched. And then as soon as the pattern declares, then they match it and they're on it. So, Vic was there 2 years ago, as a consultant. Then he went down to Miami. So, a lot of single coverage with the corners, and good to have good ones out there. Plus, as D-Butt mentioned, Bradbury, Slay, they need some depth there, young depth.
So you know this because of the amount of success that you had, and there's a lot of conversation about it. Whenever you lose your coordinators because you had success and somebody else wants them, trying to fill those roles are very tough sometimes. Like for the Eagles, they lose Shane Steichen, he comes to the Colts, he takes Gardner Minshew to the Pro Bowl. We almost make the playoffs with, no offense, but like backups across the board with Shane Steichen. Obviously, they have to figure it out on the offensive side. Last year, they had 2 defensive coordinators. Now they bring in Vic Fangio. How much of a change is that? Is that like too much for a team to handle?
Well, again, Vic was there 2 years ago. He left and went to Miami, and now he's coming back. It was a little bit of a transition last year with, in their defensive situation, but I think they feel comfortable with Vic, and I think that, there's carryover from 2 years ago in that defense. Look, the best thing about the Eagles' defense is the front. It's hard to get the ball off. It's just they can rush a passer, and their corners have to cover, but they don't have to cover for too long.
Yeah.
And when you play from ahead, which they do a lot, then that's a good position to be in. You got a good pass rush. They just need a little more. I think you saw what happened, later in the year when they kind of, the second half of the season, they need more youth on defense.
There's not an off-ball linebacker at this point in the draft that you see coming off the board, right?
Well, you know what? It might be depending on how they feel about Cooper, Colson. Cooper's a spectacular athlete. He would help anybody on all 4 downs. Colson's got good size. I don't know if he's really their type of linebacker. He's a bigger, kid, but he runs pretty well. So if you want a linebacker, those are your guys. I think if you go to the best available board, you would be passing up some other players on our board. Again, understand everybody's board's different.
Yep.
Yeah, you got Mitchell and Arnold as the top 2 available on Field Yates' board.
Yep.
And we do believe they're going to go with a corner, probably a small school one.
Yeah, maybe a fast one.
That's what it feels like. Maybe a very fast corner from a small school where it's probably hard to get some comps.
Some action.
The Nationwide pick is in. Just like Nationwide helps millions of people prepare for their financial futures, Peyton Manning's draft night drills are helping NFL prospects prepare for this year's draft. Nationwide is on your side, so you don't have to worry about fumbling your future or disappointing Peyton on draft night. Hell yeah, Nationwide. That made sense. It was a good time to put it in there, too.
Great.
We do appreciate Nationwide. The pick is in for the Philadelphia Eagles as Roger Goodell makes his way up to the podium.
The NFL has gone global. This past year, we played games in front of amazing crowds in London and Germany.
What?
Guten
This
Tag.
upcoming season, we will play our first ever game in South America in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Hola.
And we will be coming to more markets on a global basis soon.
It's Portuguese,
actually. Shit.
The NFL's International Player Pathway Program
We know.
helps foreign-born players
me.
reach the NFL. Elite international athletes have an opportunity to compete at the NFL level. And we will be coming to more markets on a global basis soon.
It's Portuguese, actually.
Shit.
ever game in South America in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Hola.
And we will be coming to more markets on a global basis soon.
It's Portuguese, actually.
First, this past
For the Philadelphia Eagles as Roger Goodell makes his way up to the podium.
the incoming season,
All right,
Beach, Gold Coast, Australia.
Oh, that's neat.
Thank you, Jordan.
Down under.
Hey,
He's going to do a
mate.
shoey.
Australia.
Down under. What
Lives
time is
down
it over there? Is it 18 hours?
He's on the side. They're missing it. He's on the side. They're going to have to move him to the
Rod
side.
looks good.
You want to use this one?
Beautiful.
Crushed it.
All right,
Nice.
Mitchell out of Toledo, small school, great speed. Corner is what they needed. Corner is what they went with. D. Butch, Toledo guy, making a first-round draft pick. That's huge for him.
I like it. A little Maxie coming in here, getting obviously first corner, right? First corner off the board. This is kind of rumored to be maybe one of those guys. Bill mentioned it. All the corners kind of is your flavor, like you said. It's not like a Gonzalez or Witherspoon like last year. We're clearly blue chip guys that separated from the pack. So all these guys kind of packed in there, and obviously they like them here.
What are
Jordan
your thoughts
Mailata.
on somebody playing at Toledo and then getting drafted in the first round of the NFL? That's very abnormal, obviously.
Yeah, and I think what helped them a little bit was the Senior Bowl, playing against good competition there. But they played some good schools. They played Illinois. He had a big game against Northern Illinois with the 3 interceptions. But I think this is a big physical kid that'll help also play on special teams. So he'll help him on all 4 downs. But really is a perimeter guy.
Brandon Mitchell.
This guy, he's got good skills, and I'm sure they'll develop him and, just be a better man-to-man player. He hasn't played, probably enough man-to-man against high-level competition yet, but, he'll get there.
Very clean dap with Roger Goodell, Mad Mel. I know it took a while to get to the pick, and you were certainly not thrilled about that. Sure. And it might be because the Packers are going to Brazil anyways, so I know you've been a little bummed out about it. What are your thoughts on the corner pick for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, I think you got to love it. Obviously, blew everyone's socks off at the combine, tested incredibly well. Let's be honest. Most of us up here, not Bill, obviously, would watch a guy like this, watch his tape. Very few people know where the fuck Toledo is. They've never watched them play on Saturday, But again, like Bill mentioned, goes to the Senior Bowl, has some of that outstanding competition from all the big schools in the nation. And again, I go back to the combine. He runs that 40, and it kind of, everyone's eyes open up. They say, okay, this guy, maybe he's not just, some also ran from Toledo. If we see him in the SEC or in the Big Ten, we might be talking about a middle of the first round guy.
To your point, not a lot of people have seen this guy play football. Let's look at some film, shall we, Bill? On Mitchell out of Toledo.
Good length, good size. That certainly, and obviously good speed, as Mel mentioned here. So here he is down at the bottom. He's got no help, so he covers this post pattern, and just runs down this post pattern here and breaks it up. Speed, size, length, and a good competitive guy.
Who's he playing against there, Bill?
Top show.
Me?
I think that's San Jose.
No, Toledo.
He's at Toledo.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's a test, and you passed.
Yeah, you're right, Bill, obviously.
Here's a good break on the ball. This is one thing he does a lot of, is he kind of sits on these routes and is able, this is against Illinois, okay, so, good competition here. But here he is closing on this under route. Again, you can see his length. He gets his hand in there. He has a lot of pass breakups. Doesn't have a lot of interceptions. I'd say his hands need some work, but that's something that you could probably improve on.
Well, and that's why he played corner, because he's got bad hands. Darius knows that.
Yep.
AJ, the Philadelphia Eagles team, that's a good culture to kind of get dropped into, you would think. They lose Jason Kelsey, but Sirianni's still there. What are your thoughts on adding a guy out of the MAC?
It's a great opportunity for him to come in there, come to the Eagles. Yeah, we know their season didn't end the way we thought it would, but Vic Fangio, I'm sure, will bring him along. And I think as a young guy, as a corner, I don't know if D-Buck can tell us, but confidence is everything, I feel like. If you're out there and you're that guy, I would imagine Vic Fangio and the coaches and the rest of those players are doing whatever they can to try to, bring him up to speed and make him feel like he's part of it, because you can't have any doubt out there if you're out there manned up one-on-one.
At all. And the first thing I look at with most draft picks is what meeting room are they going into. Darius Slay, everybody knows, if you've been around the league, he's a great pro, going to be a great teammate. Same thing with James Bradbury. So going into a great meeting room, and then the pass rush. You brought over Huff from the Jets. He's out there. Jalen Carter corner, we expect him to take even another step this season. So if I'm a corner, it's one of those good situations you can go into and say you're drafted high, so you're definitely gonna get a good shot to play early. So I'm looking forward to him out there in Philly.
Just real quick, I'd like to say that we knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we knew that was going to happen.
He was getting a haircut earlier. They showed it on TV. He looked great in the hotel.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like.
Board said it.
We have the board. You said it. The board basically told us exactly. You said it's the easy one. They need a corner. There's the corner. That was literally Fields' #1 corner. Here we go, Field Yates.
Yes.
There we go, Field
Okay, Fields. Climbing up the board. And you talk about confidence. I mean, could you play with a more confident guy in CJ GJ? Like getting him back, the guy who's bringing ski mask to Detroit, like that is someone that you want to play. I mean, granted, he still needs to kind of make amends with the people of Philadelphia after he said that was the worst part about Philadelphia.
Make a play.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. We can go back down to our draft board down in Tone's dojo. Jacksonville needs what, Tone Diggs?
DN corner, D tackle is what's listed here. So when you go take a look at that, the only projected first rounder left in that situation would be Darius Robinson. But they've also been projected to maybe take a look at a wide receiver in this situation. So, when you go take a look at the wide receiver, the next wide receiver that could potentially come off the board, and when you're looking at the big board, is Brian Thomas or A.D. Mitchell. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they go there, Pat.
Where exactly do you think?
I don't know. Was Malik Neighbors taken?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Did he play with somebody?
Who are you thinking? What are you saying, Tone? You're saying LSU wide receiver?
Maybe. There's a chance. I don't know.
Wait, who did he play with?
Thomas Jr., wide receiver, LSU.
Another weapon for Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, this was a guy who was very high on a lot of people's draft board. Led all of FBS, I think, in touchdowns last year.
17 touchdowns,
He's
right?
Absolute stud. Good for Trevor Lawrence here, getting another weapon.
Yeah. No, this guy's got, breakaway speed, good size, good-looking kid. Played with a lot of other good players. Obviously, the quarterback and Neighbors, Taylor, the tight end. So, they have a very explosive offense, but he's a good complementary receiver. He's take the top off the defense for sure.
We've thought that Visor and Doug Peterson were going to go on a run straight to the top. They've had a little bit of it. They've gone. A little bit of adversity gone. We got a chance to see him at the Combine. Ooze is cool. Another weapon for Trevor's not a bad thing, Conrad.
Yeah, unbelievable. And you look at what they did kind of in the offseason. They just grabbed Eric Armstead from the 49ers to add to that D-line with already Josh Allen, who they got a deal done with, Travon Walker, who was the #1 overall pick a couple years ago. But, Coach, when it comes to later in the draft, we were talking about the Colts and how, they need a corner, also pass rusher plays. When you're in the division for the Jags, are you ever, let's say, in previous drafts, are you ever looking at what your division opponents are doing? For instance, because the Colts didn't go corner, do the Jags maybe think, okay, maybe we go after a weapon to kind of put them in a bind? And because Tennessee grabbed L'Jarius Sneed, kind of another weapon to go up against Tennessee, is that ever a thought later in the draft?
I think you might look at the team as a whole. I don't think you draft against their draft.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just too far in advance, and I'd say it's too much unpredictability. But if you're going to have to cover Tyreek Hill and Waddle twice a season, you better get somebody that can cover them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have to, play against Josh Allen twice a year, you better get somebody that can tackle them.
No, there's a lot of Josh Allens coming into the league.
Yeah, Drake May.
Hey, it's a big year for Trevor Lawrence.
But I do think you got to, be cognizant of that for sure. And really, I learned that lesson from Coach Parcells. When we were playing teams that had played good 3-4 defenses that had good nose guards, Bill's thing was you got to have a good center, and he was right. And so, when I got Kevin Mawai, who's one of the best in the league, all-pro, year after year at the Jets, and that was a great, that's Bill's vision. Bill can see things and then do it. And he could see a problem, and then he would solve it. And so that's one of the great things from him.
We got an immediate threat right here. Right in front of us. We need to stop him from getting to the quarterback and stopping our run game. Seems so basic, but whenever you point it out, it's like not everybody does that. Obviously, Tuna's a genius, as are you. You said big year for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The last thing we need is for him to look like Tony Khan, who took a Meltzer driver just the other night. Wednesday night, he took a Meltzer driver, I do believe.
That's right.
Guy's got a broken neck, and he's battling through so he can pick up Brian Thomas Jr. and that mustache is there, not going to be sweet. And Doug Peterson's 3 seats away going, the fuck is going on?
Okay.
The back to Trevor Lawrence, though. Go ahead, Matt Bell.
Well, I was just going to say, I understand, keeping up with the gimmick. Someone should tell Tony Khan, hey, if you have a neck brace on, don't fucking move around like nothing's wrong. You stick with the gimmick and look straight ahead like your neck's broken, okay? What are we doing here?
Thank you.
Okay, well,
about time.
Let's talk about the quarterback down there for the broken-necked owner. Trevor Lawrence, it is a massive year.
Yeah.
Had success. We've seen glimpses, but still they haven't really.
Yeah, huge year. He was kind of, crowned coming into the league. Top pick. Hey, he's the next one, next Peyton, next this, next that. I don't think it's been as smooth as a lot of people would have anticipated with him. You lose a weapon like Ridley. You obviously replace with Thomas. Big year for him, for that team to make that step. They started off great last year. What was it, week 12, 13? They were like the 1 seed.
Oh, yeah.
And then kind of fell off a cliff. But big year for him. So I like that they're building around him, giving him a good opportunity.
Hey, now, this is going to go way back. When you go to the Patriots 25 years ago, hadn't been a lot of success, hadn't been a lot of home playoff. I think it's
wait a minute. Hold on. In 96, we lost the Super Bowl to Green Bay on a kickoff return.
Okay.
Desmond Howard.
And then 97, 98, 99, with all those draft picks, the team was really in bad shape in 2000, way over the cap. And then it started to rebuild after that. But Coach Parcells had a pretty good foundation there, when he drafted McGinnis, Ty Law, Lawyer Malloy, guys like that.
So I apologize.
There wasn't really much gained in the 97, 98, 99 drafts. Kevin Falk, Damian Woody played a little bit, but those 3 years were kind of lean. And then things, got a little bit better, once Brady and, Harrison and Corey Dillon, some of those guys came in, Matt Light, Seymour, it was a combination of things.
Okay, so let's talk on that, because like the Jacksonville Jaguars, they had success way back, like Brunell and obviously Fred Taylor.
Jimmy Smith.
There were some good players, but when Doug Peterson goes there, it's like, hey, we're trying to create a winner down here. The ownership has moved a lot of money. They've redesigned things they're trying to do. The pressure on Doug Peterson is to win, obviously, and same with Trevor Lawrence. At what point do you think they either give up hope or feel like they're getting close?
Yeah, it's been interesting. The Jaguars, in 14, we beat them in the playoffs in a tough game. They had a good football team, and then they were down, and they came up, had that year in 14. They had 2 big years in free agency. Then they kind of slid down after that, and now they've, bounced back up with a lot of high draft picks. So, they're kind of in a little bit of a different spot right now where they're starting to sustain their success a little bit. Of course, a lot of that has to do with a good quarterback and building around Lawrence. So it'll be interesting to see how they do here as they stack up against now Houston, who's also piled up a lot of draft picks and a lot of good players. It's going to be an interesting division.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys have made a trade to the Detroit Lions.
Whoa!
Here we go.
Crowd is rushing the
Lions
stage.
are on the clock as the Pride here sprints to the stage. There's a couple people that have traveled from out of town who are still standing back here by us. Other than that, the entire city of Detroit has sprinted up to the stage. They obviously spent $152 million in guaranteed contracts over the last 2 days. They get to the NFC Championship. Both their coordinators are back, and now they're making a trade with the Dallas Cowboys to get up to pick number 24, Conman.
Yeah, I believe Brad Holmes at the Alabama Pro Day was very, 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 very impressed with Terrion Arnold. So this does feel like one of those situations, even though we said it with the Vikings, in the division, a lot of weapons. Lions need a lot of secondary help. They got Hutch already up front. This one does feel like, okay, Terrion Arnold finally, Bama corner. It's a staple in the draft in the first round. He has to come off the board now.
They signed 2 corners this offseason, too.
Yep.
Robertson from Vegas Raiders, and then Carlton Davis.
Trade.
Tampa, so,
Yeah, both perimeter guys. Kenny Moore's got to play inside.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
From Bama, Branch.
No, sorry.
Branch?
Yeah,
Branch.
Yeah.
Kenny Moore's in Indy.
Yeah, I got
understand.
you.
Yeah, Colts are,
sorry.
I understand. You're talking about the AFC South powerhouses before this big trade took place. So you're talking about the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, well, who was the first one to sign Kenny Moore? I believe that was Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
How about that? Huh?
Came
How about that? Who had him?
Try to get Kenny to the practice squad, but
he wasn't going to make it.
Didn't
Never
work
going to
out.
make it. Now he's the best nickel in the league.
Well,
Good eye. Good eye, Bill. Good eye.
Yeah, great eye, Bill. Okay.
Per usual.
Yeah, okay. Indianapolis Colts is where Kenny Moore, okay.
Yeah.
Name, skill, money, life, housing,
What?
whole thing.
That's because Bill felt a little bad about all the beat downs that he gave to the Colts over those years. And he said, you know what? Take Kenny. It's fine. We'll give you one.
All right. I don't know if Bill did any of that.
I think so.
But I would understand if you did. There were some tough games. Tough games.
Fun ones.
Yeah, but the balls weren't inflated.
Don't even bring it up, you son of a bitch. You know what happens to balls when it gets cold out? They deflate a little.
Yes, right
that was a witch hunt. That was a witch hunt, and it was proven. It was proven. It was already a proven witch hunt. I thought you'd bring that up. Proven by science, not Roger's
What about
science.
Bill Nye?
Science. Yeah. Bill Nye would say, you know what?
He did.
The NFL fucked up. They went after the Patriots. That's what Bill Nye would say.
We got a banner out of it.
Yeah, Bill Belichick, we appreciate you. I want to let you know, while you're experiencing all that, I hope you understand that on the Colts side, all the players, coaches, anybody associated with the Indianapolis Colts, we wanted that fucking thing to disappear quicker than you did.
Yeah, just like the 2014 AFC Finals banner.
Only beat us by 50 that game, you know, and if the balls just had a little bit more air in them.
It's a game at
Who knows? Who knows what would have happened?
We don't know.
I do believe LeGarrette Blount outscored the entire Colts team on the ground. That's his hand in the ball.
Let's talk about the Detroit Lions, okay? And there is a chance that they get a corner here. And there is a chance it is the guy from Alabama who's at the top of every conversation there. And what the Lions have been able to do with MCDC and Brad Holmes as quickly as they've been able to do it. Like whenever he comes out, MCDC, Dan Campbell, and says, I'm gnawing kneecaps, I'm doing all this shit. As another head coach in the NFL, the greatest of all time, when you watch it, are you judging him? Like when you first get introduced to Dan Campbell in Detroit, what are your thoughts? And then what they've been able to do, how did you kind of take it in?
Yeah, well, I've known Dan for a while, and I have a ton of respect for him. You know, he was a good, hard, tough football player. You know, tight end, played for Sean down at New Orleans, and you know, so cut a little bit from the Parcells tree, and I know he does that. Aaron Glenn, I coached at the Jets. You know, Aaron loves corners, so I'm sure he'd like to have one. You know, and they have Hutch, and you know, I got a good front. So, you know, I see the corner be a good need for him, and there are several guys up on the board.
They've done amazing here in Detroit.
Oh, that's sweet.
Here we go.
This is cool. None of them can beat IMG.
Our girls flag football players representing the first four
Pierce pretty good.
They competed in the Michigan Girls Flag High School Football League and local high school football tackle students.
King jerseys are sick.
Yeah, King jerseys are awesome.
These young men and women embody NFL values of respect, integrity,
those kids
resiliency, and responsibility to their teams. Congratulations on your accomplishments in your academic and football careers. Now to make the selection, please welcome Ellie Fagan.
Are they all wearing the same shoes?
Here go Ellie.
Yeah, it looks like they got suited from the ankles down.
Yeah.
Welcome to the NFL.
The Dallas Cowboys have traded the 24th pick to the Detroit Lions.
Good pop, good composure.
With the 24th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Terrion Arnold, defensive back, Alabama.
There it is.
There we go. The conversation about a corner being picked up by Detroit happens here with a trade of Detroit going up and trading for Dallas. I know you have some film. Let's look at Terrion Arnold, obviously stud out of Alabama.
Yeah, so Terrion was, you know, one of the two good corners down there. Kool-Aid was the other one, and maybe we'll see him later on in tonight. But here he is playing at the top of the screen. Terrion's a tough kid. He's a good tackler. So you can see right here in the open field, does a nice job breaking down, wrapping up on the tackle. And, you know, he's obviously been well coached by Coach Saban. So this is a big play. The final play of the game, they're, you know, up by 4 points against Texas A&M. And here he is really making the play of the game, you know, breaking up this pass there on the goal line to preserve the victory. But there's some plays where he just, I don't know, loses concentration. There's just too much separation here on this route. And that happens to him, you know, a number of times. You know, I'm sure Coach Glenn will get that straightened out, but, you know, he's got talent. He just, you know, at times, just like I said, here he loses focus, gets out of position and misses a tackle. and gives up a big play to Texas. So I think this is, just a consistency thing. There's enough talent there. He's a good kid. He's a good teammate. I think he'll fit in well in Coach Campbell and Coach Glenn's culture. Just really needs to work on, more consistency with his fundamentals. This is a nice play right here on the coverage, but then he kind of loses it at the end. And this happens to him where he gets back shouldered a couple times throughout the season. This is twice in the Vanderbilt game, where he's a little too high on the receiver and, doesn't react quick enough. So good talent, good guy to work with. Will develop under Coach Glenn's coaching and, consistency.
We got to know if he's getting drafted here with this crew, he's hard-nosed. And he has respect for him. I assume that's one of the first things he's looking for corner.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him in that building. You mentioned being coached by Glenn, and I can kind of see some similarities, some issues I had coming into the league. Maybe sometimes just being a floater almost. You're a good athlete. Maybe peaking sometimes when you're coming out of certain breaks. Something you can definitely get coached up and fixed. But he has the talent. He has the competitiveness. And off the field, everything we've seen from him, he's just a great guy, great character. So I'm excited about this pick.
What's going on, Mad Mel? Why are you shaking your head?
Well, I may have seen who the Packers have taken.
Well, it's fair to say it's not.
What are you talking about? That guy's trained by one of the best offensive line coaches.
Yeah, I understand. Fucking AQ Shipley trains the guy. I basically put all my chips in this basket. Kind of set myself up to really be disappointed, and here we are once again.
We don't know the pick yet.
I do know the pick. I won't fucking say it because I don't want to get chastised by anyone from the NFL. But fuck! I mean, it was gift wrap for me. It was gift wrap.
Wait, what'd you want him to do? What do you mean?
What do you think?
I'm going to smack the fucking new teeth out of your mouth is what I'm going to do.
What do you want him to do? People don't know.
Yeah, safe to say they didn't draft Cooper DeJean, okay?
No, we don't know.
Yeah, well,
we don't know.
I do know.
Tell you what, the big board would have taken Cooper, I think.
Let's go down to the big board as the Green Bay Packers are on the clock as Terrion Arnold is getting introduced to the Detroit faithful here.
Let's take a look at the big board here. So we got A.D. Mitchell at 21 left here, and Packers aren't going to go wide receiver. But next on that list is cornerback from Iowa, Cooper DeJean.
So maybe.
But if we were to look farther down, I don't know, say somewhere around 35, okay? Maybe Bakhtiari's gone or something like that. Maybe they need to draft a tackle or something this year. Maybe they look at that guy. But if you go over here to the the horizontal chart, he wouldn't even be. I don't think he'd be the best tackle listed on Fields' board. But who knows?
Yeah, so maybe they do go with a tackle because they lose Bakhtiari.
Protect Jordan Love. It's a great pick.
Yeah, Jordan's young. The offense is young. Going to need to protect the blind side.
O-line did well last year, too. Even with Bach being out, they did well protecting.
Well, they're used to it because Bakhtiari hasn't played a fucking snap in almost 3 years. So, they were used to, kind of playing without him. But I'll be honest. Listen, and I know better, okay? I know better than to throw stones at Gutekunst. I mean, everyone remembers when they drafted Jordan Love and made a fucking ass out of myself, went crazy, and turns out, hey, I was pretty happy about that pick last year. It's a selfish thing. I understand. I understand I probably shouldn't overreact. But the joke's on me because I think I may have broke my hand slamming the table.
Pounding the table.
That was pretty fucking stupid.
Pretty frozen.
Yeah, not great. Not great.
Food poisoning this morning, broken hand at the evening, and a tackle that you've never heard of.
Yeah,
probably getting drafted to your team you love.
AQ trains him, so there we go. AQ loves the guy.
Gritty.
Yeah,
Gritty.
Exactly.
There you go. Hopefully he flushes the toilet and AQ doesn't.
There's people now mentioning from the back that there's no way that was food poisoning. It was probably the 22 Jack and Diets you drank last night.
Whoa, not that many,
They're
right?
pointing fingers over there, man.
Not
said that.
many,
Is it Bruce?
Wait, hold on. Did they mean that because we all ate off the exact same plates and
Yes.
we all ate the exact same food?
Yeah, family share plates, so we're all eating the same food. Ty got food poisoning. We're all okay.
I don't know if it was food
Hey,
poisoning.
can we take a look at that board here and see what Dallas? Did?
Okay, Bill. Let's get us back on track. All right, get us back. There you go. Bill.
Yeah, good call. Let's go back to the
Coach,
board.
what do you want to look at, Coach?
Yeah, so where's Dallas now? What are they looking at? This is a good situation to talk about here. Dallas has who ahead of them?
Dallas has Buffalo, Arizona, and Tampa ahead of them now that they traded back.
Okay.
And it doesn't look like any of those teams have very similar draft needs, if that's what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Whoa, Tone, what you put the name up next to the Green Bay? What? They didn't make a pick
Oh,
yet.
shit. That's my bad. I thought that's on me.
He's guessing. Who's that?
That might be the pick for the Green Bay Packers. We're not sure. Once again, we are not 100% sure.
TBD.
Until
TBD.
Roger Goodell announces it, we're not sure.
But it is interesting that, the Cowboys traded down from 24 and tackle was one of their needs, and then the next pick is a tackle. So
but but again, there are other tackles up there.
Correct.
People have talked about the highest player on the board is Cooper, and he's a local kid from A&M. He's a heck of an athlete. He would be a good fit in the Dallas system. I don't know where they have him rated, but that might be Field might have that one.
Okay.
Field might have that one. I don't know. But they could certainly.
The linebacker out of A&M.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they want another tackle, let's see who's left up there.
Okay, so the Packers pick is in. It is officially the tackle out of Arizona.
Select Jordan Morgan.
Yeah. Hey, way to go.
Yeah. Good pick. Good pick.
Hey, that's a smart pick.
Smart.
Offensive lineman hit at a higher rate than any other position in the first round. That's a smart play by Gunther Kuntz.
Protect Jordan Love.
Right, so but he's a left tackle all the way. He tore his ACL and then came back and played his senior year at Arizona last year for Jed Fish. And of course, Fish did a great job of that Arizona program, put him in the top 10 after being the worst team in college football when he took over in 2021. But Jordan is really a high-quality kid, very smart, good pass protector, very athletic, and he'll be he's a good football player. He's a left tackle, and so I don't think there's any doubt about that. And he just needs to get a little bit stronger in the lower body, but this is a good football player. He's got a good future.
You think he needs to relax a little bit over there? The Green Bay Packers fan, Mad Mel, you think maybe relax just a tiny bit?
Well, I'm just saying, what the problem is when you don't have a tackle. They don't grow on trees. I mean, these guys that are 6'5", 315 pounds that are really athletic, this draft has a bunch of them, so this isn't a bad time to take one. And he's a good player. Morgan's a good player.
Okay, so we saw the Packers go with the tackle.
I'd say there's no way he was getting out of the first round. I think there were other teams that would have taken him if they didn't, so they probably,
Sounds like you like him a lot, is what that sounds like, Mad Mel. So maybe you
making me feel a lot better.
Yeah, broken hand for no reason. Now, the Packers go with tackle. The Lions go with corner. The Minnesota Vikings have had 2 picks. One was Dallas Turner, and one they traded up one spot for to get J.J. McCarthy. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings had 2 picks. One was Dallas Turner, and one.
Made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, broken hand for no reason. Now, the Packers go with tackle. The Lions go with corner. The Minnesota Vikings have had 2 picks. One was Dallas Turner, and one they traded up one spot for. Dive in with him.
Yeah, I think for us, we went into this process. We really knew, we wanted to have the ability to identify a quarterback in the future in this draft. Obviously, we acquired pick 23 to give us kind of that flexibility to be able to, really play out a lot of scenarios, knowing that we weren't the only ones that viewed this draft class, as a very deep group, especially at the top, like it ended up playing out. But we went through a great process, between obviously the combine interview and getting to see JJ throw the football there at the combine, but then spent about a whole day in Ann Arbor, on his home turf there in the classroom setting, out on the field, and really got to know the player, got to know the person, really give him an idea via some installation of some of our offense that then we were able to go out on the field and work through and really see kind of a translation from some obviously success at the highest level, winning a national championship, a lot of the great things he was able to do, demonstrating his physical skills on his tape, but we were able to really get a great feel for where JJ's at, his high-level intelligence and just kind of some of the traits and intangibles that I was really looking for as we attacked this process. Really happy, excited, to say the least, to add JJ to our team.
Hell yeah, and we can't wait to watch what you do with him. And obviously Sam Darnold's there, so you can take your time, do whatever the hell you want to do. I think all Vikings fans will be excited to watch it unfold. And last question for me before Coach has one, and obviously a couple others do. How much did it factor into with JJ McCarthy? Like, the dude didn't bitch. He's a hockey player in the past. He's a tough guy. They ran the ball 32 straight times, okay? He could be in the Heisman conversation. They're undefeated. He didn't say a single word. Feels like everybody loves him, and he's humble, and he just works his dick off. Like, Is that a part of evaluating him as well in this whole thing, or is it just on the field? What did you learn about him, the human, that makes you excited to have him in the locker room?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't know if I've been a part of an evaluation process where you really get to know not only JJ but other people there at the school, people, teammates. There's plenty of them in this draft, obviously, that will hear their names called over the next 2 days. But what you really find when you dive into it, you really start to ask people genuinely what they feel about JJ. Is there's nothing but love and admiration for the person, the leader. He really implored his teammates via being committed to a great culture and understanding what it meant to try to help his teammates become better players, and the love that those guys had for one another. It's not hard to see why they were able to have success as a football team, and really, when you think about when his teammates and his team needed him the most in some big moments, in some big football games against some really, really good defenses, he was able to answer the bell and go make a play to either extend a drive, convert a critical 3rd and long, maybe a red zone opportunity where they're able to punch it in and get 7 instead of 3. It's winning football, and it's the type of thing that J.J. McCarthy has really strived to do his whole football career and been successful at every level. And we're just excited to add him into what we feel has been built up as a pretty phenomenal culture here in our locker room due to our players. And I know the amount of text messages that I've received from our guys about not only JJ, but I definitely want to make sure we spend some time talking about Dallas Turner, because couldn't imagine when this day started that we would add these two types of players to our team.
Hell yeah. Coach Belichick has a question for you.
Hey, Kevin, congratulations. I'm sure that Dallas was either the highest guy on your board or close to the highest guy on your defensive board. So, this feels like a great team building draft for you. You got two great guys, not just great players, but great people, great guys, one on offense, one on defense, and building the team is what it's all about. So, congratulations on that. I've said a lot of the same things about McCarthy that you have. This guy just knows how to win. He makes the right plays. He makes good decisions, whether it's running game, passing game, 3rd down, red area. He does a lot of the right things to help you win, and doesn't turn the ball over. So, congratulations. And when you build your team with 2 good leaders on either side of the ball, that's a great way to bring other guys onto your team, because these guys will rise to the occasion. I have no doubt about that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. You know how much you mean to me personally as not only a former head coach of mine, but somebody who's become a mentor of mine over these last few years since diving into this coaching world. But to hear you say that about these players, that's how we felt about them. The idea, you're absolutely right, of adding one of the top defensive players on our board, a guy that, not only Brian Flores and his staff, but our personnel department, our whole entire organization really thought Dallas Turner was one of those guys that if somehow the offensive wave that ended up happening between quarterbacks, receivers, and tackles, if that somehow happened and we had an opportunity to go get Dallas, we wanted to try to exhaust every option to do that. So, guys, when you think about the 2 players we added, critical impact positions, like you said, but guys that are leaders, guys that are tough, guys that love football, guys that will take advantage of hopefully being in a premier learning environment to become, what we believe they're capable of becoming, was a huge factor in really making the 2 moves to solidify getting the opportunity to get those players. But you nailed it on the head as far as it's not just the production, which they both had. It's not just the success that they both had. It's in 2 of the premier football programs in college football. It's really what you're adding into that locker room and into your meeting rooms and onto the grass every single day is guys that love football, that are tough, that are smart, but most importantly want to go win and be great for the greater good of the team. And quite honestly, as the head coach and going into this night, my excitement level was matched really with some nerves of wondering what we would be able to add, and to know that we got these 2 players, I'm absolutely elated.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Thanks so much for coming on with us, Kevin. Appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Hey,
Thanks.
good booking by Bill, by the way. It's phenomenal.
Oh,
I guess
Coach.
when he sends a text that things happen, especially for a guy that coached you up. We found a photo from back in. Bill, he could spin it, huh, KOC?
Wow. He
spin
could.
it?
How big he
Hey,
is.
Kevin had an arm now. He had an arm.
What he's not saying is I had an arm, but we didn't always know where that ball was going to go. I think, I'll tell you what, I'm not telling you guys something I haven't told Coach, but the amount of football that I learned and just being willing to listen every single day, not only his leadership, but the great football players that he was able to put together on that amazing team and all those teams over those years. I couldn't have gone to a better place for me to eventually, continue on this journey. And my love of football was only stamped there by being around the greatest, coach to ever do it. So,
Appreciate that, Kevin.
He knows how I feel about
Thank
it.
you. Appreciate that.
Hell yeah, Coach. Well, Coach,
Thanks so much.
That's awesome to hear, I assume. Coach O'Connell, congrats on a great night. I can't wait to see what you guys do the rest of the weekend. And you look really cool. So you should maybe take a couple photos in there. You got a good fit. It's a good fit right now. You look good.
I decided to make sure that Coach Belichick will have some love for this. That's the Hall of Fame tie that Bud Grant gave me unfortunately before he passed away. But it's I figured we'd throw that on there for Coach.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. All right,
Congrats,
KOC. Have a great weekend. Congrats on your new quarterback and your edge rusher. Ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate you guys, man.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, Kevin.
You know, people talk about the draft of like how great, the 83 draft was and all that, but it's really about team building. It's like, how do you build your team? 50 years ago, this was the greatest team building draft of all time, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
Swan.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Stallworth, Lambert, Webster, and Donnie Shell in one draft. Five Hall of Famers in one draft. Donnie Shell is free agent. Build a team now. What happened after that? But we're Super Bowl.
One of the greatest times in the history.
The next Super Bowl. So you talk about team building drafts. No, you can look at some other ones. Ray Lewis and Jonathan Ogden with the Ravens, and Packers drafting Forrest Gregg and Bart Starr, and those are 2 Hall of Famers. He's got 5. Four drafted and 1 free agent.
Detroit's going to try to do the same thing. They've had a couple back-to-back drafts where they've had like 5-6 starters immediately out of the draft. It's crazy. You look at what Minnesota just did. There's a chance they can get going.
But not starters.
Hall of Fame. Yeah, I got those levels. You're talking about levels and Hall of Famers. One just walked up on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, a legend in every conversation here. Detroit Lions hero, Barry Sanders is here. Thank you so much, dude. Hey, settle up right there. You're going to take the ball.
Barry, an honor. As always, an honor.
Great to see you again.
Yeah.
Proud of what you talk.
Okay.
Always an honor.
How'd you get him up here?
You're right over there.
Awesome. Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, pop him in.
He actually.
You're taking mine. You're taking mine.
He's going to the bathroom.
Go on. Yeah, I got a dump. Good luck.
Hey, good luck out there, con man. Hey, Barry. Detroit showed up. 275,000 people here tonight. It's the record for the first night of the draft. So let's go, Detroit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Surprised at that?
Yes.
Yes. Waiting for this, man.
Yeah, but it's a little.
We won this.
It's a little chilly,
No, we don't care about that here.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't care about that.
Football weather.
We've been waiting for this day for a while, and you can see how people showed up. Lions fans yelling at us.
Yeah.
No, they're ready, man.
Let's talk about the Lions move. Let's talk about the Lions move. Trade up, get a DB, Terrion Arnold. I think a lot of people had him as the top corner or maybe second top. What does this do for the Lions, and why do you think they went this way, Barry?
I mean, you look at all these dynamic young quarterbacks coming into our division. We gotta have somebody neutralize that out on the corner. I think also you look at just our defense. And bringing in a personality that can really mix well with the guys that are there, that has success. We were just a few steps away from a Super Bowl.
Oh, so close. Had to lead late.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so bringing in a guy who's a proven winner from a great program, who you know is a player, you know, and you figure can really fit into that scheme and those personalities in the locker room.
Barry, isn't it crazy that we're at a standpoint now? And I know for you, Lions and everything, but like as a national group, you know, we have Foxy back here as a diehard Lions fan. He saw you walk in.
There's some Lions fans in here?
Yeah, one. Yeah, right down there.
Hey, Lions fan.
Yeah, he's
How you doing over there, buddy?
Yeah, he's got a little zipper burn currently whenever you showed up on his baby maker or whatever. But last question for me. Before, like, we just have trust that Brad Holmes is bringing in the right guy, and we trust that MCDC is going to do his thing. It seems to be a whole new era of football and trust with the Detroit Lions. But for me, that jacket needs. What is that jacket? Is this Detroit Lions? What is this jacket? This thing is phenomenal.
You like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Well, it's a starter jacket, you know, starter goat jacket, right? It's officially called the starter goat jacket.
Look at that.
Yeah. You know, if anyone's interested, they can go to omage.com/goat and find out more about how to purchase one, all that good stuff. I think they said we may have an extra one for the host of the show. Something like that. I know it's not.
Where is it?
I know it's not necessarily the blue that you normally wear.
Hey.
You know, but
hey, the Honolulu Blues okay with me, man. The Lions are a great team. Yeah,
we gotta get Bill one.
Mad Mo has a question for you, Barry.
Yeah, Barry, how rewarding is it when you look at what the Lions, I'm not talking about the draft, but when you look at what the Lions have done the last couple days, when you're paying guys these massive contracts, homegrown talent, how good does that feel when you see, you know, you understand the Lions are drafting these guys and then they're rewarding them as kind of blocks for the future of this team with Amon-Ra St. Brown getting a massive deal the other day, and you know, people, exactly. Yeah. And then people are talking about Jared Goff as well. How good does that feel as a Lions fan, and obviously as one of their most famous alumni?
No, I mean, it feels great because you look at what Jared has been able to do here, right? I mean, he's really rejuvenated his career and really won this city over because I would say maybe after that first season, I think they were ready to march him out of here, right? And he's turned a big corner. You know, obviously a great year last year. Signing Penei Sewell, one of the best young tackles in the game, in the business. I think it's maybe one of the highest played linemen in history, whatever. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, that guy's just been phenomenal. What he's able to do with his talent. He's always open. He's always dependable. And that's what you have to do. You know, you have to keep those guys are really like the pillar of this team. And then in the short time they've been here and been together, you know, you look at like each year going back when Coach Campbell first got here, right? I mean, you could see something building here. You know, at the very end of that first season, it was a long season because we lost a lot of games.
Sure.
But the very end of that season, they stayed with it, won a few games, and then last year, 22-23, obviously we won a lot of games, just barely missed the playoffs.
Came out of week 18, yeah.
But you could see that this team was going in the right direction, and they were ready to take a stranglehold on that division, and that's exactly what we did this past season. And rewarding the Lions fans was something we've been desperately.
Yeah, taking care of the team is the right move. Sheila Ford Hamp seems to be doing that alongside the team. Bill's got something for you, Barry.
Hey, Barry, I just want to say, first of all, it was an honor covering you in the top 100. You know, but
that was phenomenal. That was phenomenal.
But of all the players that I've defended as a coach, all right, nobody was harder than you.
Wow.
And I remember telling
That's
our
amazing.
team, we played you on a Monday night, and I remember telling our team when we were running practice, every time you get the ball, I said to every single guy, everybody is at the point of attack. You get the ball running to the right, the left corner is at the point of attack. The nose guard's at the point of attack. The free safety, everybody's at the point of attack when you had the ball. Nobody had the ability to attack the field like you did. Thank God we had Lawrence Taylor. Thank God we had Lawrence Taylor.
Carl Banks, Lawrence Taylor.
Nobody was harder to defend. I didn't coach against Jim Brown. Nobody was harder to defend than you were. Barry, you were phenomenal.
I appreciate that, Coach.
Thank you, man. A better person than a player. Love you as a person.
I'm glad I didn't have to see you that often as well.
I
am glad I have to
Taylor.
see. Well, that as
You're
well.
glad you
That
see
too.
Lawrence
That
Taylor.
too. No,
Well,
yeah. No, I
so much
remember
respect,
coming
man.
to the
So much
Meadowlands
respect.
and you know, just seeing like you said, Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks,
Yeah.
Harry Carsons and all those guys. Obviously, you know, Coach Parcells, the head coach, and you, the defensive coordinator. I think you guys won it maybe that year around then. You know, that was sort of like my welcome to the NFL time right there. We're playing against guys like that, and obviously coaches like yourself. But thank you for those words. And I was always highly motivated.
Hell yeah.
Going up against the best.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Coach definitely brought out the best in me. So I appreciate you.
That was one of the biggest fights that Coach Parcells and I ever got into was over you. And it was, honestly, it was hysterical because I said, look, we got to have some fast guys on the field because you can't catch barely. You got to have a lot of speed out there. And Bill said, yeah, well, we need speed, but, I mean, we can't put a bunch of 160-pound guys out there. Like, we got to get some – because you're running, run, and shoot.
Right.
We got to get some guys out there that are big enough to tackle them because you're strong. You broke tackles.
Who do the
And
Chiefs
so we're
pick?
going back and forth on that.
I felt like you guys shut us down pretty good, though, honestly.
We had a good day.
Why don't you
I
ask
feel
me
like
what
we
you
did.
heard
receiver Texas, nice.
Have you
Yeah.
heard about his college?
They need a
I mean,
fucking
obviously
wide
you've
receiver.
heard
Oh, my
about it.
God. Yeah.
They just ran his stats though because what was it? Runberry? No. What was the name of the doc that came out about you? Run Barry Run.
Yeah, Run Barry Run. Yeah,
Bye
yeah,
bye
yeah.
Barry. Bye bye
Bye
Barry.
bye Barry. I'm sorry.
There it is.
Bye bye Barry.
I forget what it was. We all watched it. They had a graphic on there about his fucking college season, one season. He averaged 250 yards a game, like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And there was one team that held him to 130 yards in 2 touchdowns. It's like Barry Sanders had an off day today. It's like unbelievable. Game changer.
5'11"
Here it is.
Xavier
Look at this
Worthy.
shit.
Oof.
This was
I mean,
his,
Tyreek Hill, right?
1988 college season.
332,
Missouri.
293, 312.
Yeah, but look, 157 one time.
Yeah, I mean, right.
Hey, 154 another time.
Missouri,
Missouri had your number.
They did. They sure did.
And if anybody else runs for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, they give him a game ball.
Yeah, you know what he did?
For Bears, an off day.
He
I'm
just
gonna tell
handed
you,
the ball to the ref and then walked back like he was going to get 4 more.
you don't know what a nightmare it was trying to defend Barry Sanders.
Hey, Barry.
Amen, man.
I hope you felt all the love from us. I hope you felt the love from Detroit.
Oh, absolutely.
And we appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by.
Appreciate it, man.
There's been a new pick for the Kansas City Chiefs that we need to get to right now. You want to talk about speed?
They trade up?
Xavier?
Yeah,
Xavier Worthy.
Oh, yeah, they had
Yeah, they
Xavier
traded
Worthy,
up.
Kansas
They
City
traded
Chiefs.
up, right?
Yes, Kansas to get Xavier Worthy.
With
now,
the Bills.
What a perfect player for Andy Reid in that offense. Now, you talk about being able to win a Super Bowl with the worst weapons that they've had in an amount of years. They trade, they bring in, they sign. Now they draft the fastest guy at the combine. He ran a 4.21 or whatever the hell it was.
Just to replicate Tyreek Hill.
Okay, and they've been trying to do that for years now. Kadarius Toney was supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Now you got Xavier Worthy to do it. That's just a weapon that you can't really.
What the hell's going on here?
What is that?
Mad Mel sound.
Who'd they trade up with?
Believe Buffalo.
Okay.
It signed Hollywood Brown this offseason, too.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
traded with
speed.
Buffalo. They come up to 28. Buffalo went down to 32.
Okay. Buffalo, Brandon Beane was supposed to come on the show after they made their pick. Trades out. We're not going to wait for him at 32. No way in hell. Barry, keep crushing it, man. Homage.com, HOMAGE.com.
.com/GO.
/GO.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
That jacket's sick. I didn't know this was all happening. This is all a surprise to me. I just saw the jacket and said that thing is
No,
sick.
thanks for doing it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bad
Appreciate
Bear.
it.
It's also
Yeah.
Barry.
There's only 154 of those jackets.
Ooh.
So let's not be giving
There's
me.
limited edition. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're the man. You deserve it all. Look at that. Look at that.
Got
Hall of
stats in
Famer.
there.
Nice little pass.
3,000 attempts, 15,000 yards, 109 tuds, 5 yards per carry, MVP, 6-time All-Pro, Offense Rookie of the Year, 2-time, 10-time Pro Bowler. How many years you play?
One of Coach's former players, Carl Banks, is behind this.
Yeah.
Maybe you know that.
Oh, I know.
But yeah. But I'm sorry. You said how many?
How
10
many years did you play?
10 years.
How many Pro Bowls?
10. 10.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Pat,
From
but
jump.
Pat, what the most amazing thing of all is every game the defense went into, we got to stop Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
We got to stop Barry Sanders.
Game
Let him
breaker.
throw. The more they throw, that's less carries for Barry.
And instead, Barry's
Oh, my
doing
God.
all this shit.
Still couldn't, I mean,
Levitating his cuts, sometimes levitating.
God.
You're a beast. I assume you could still
Nightmare.
do it if you had to.
If I had to?
Yeah. If I had to, I don't know.
4th and 1.
I haven't tried
we
in a
could
while.
give it to him.
I haven't tried in a while.
One time, we could give it to him. 4th and 1.
Hey, you're the
Gotta
With
have
this
it.
current offensive line, Lions offensive line, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barry Sanders.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Barry.
you,
Hey.
Barry.
Awesome, man.
Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Let's head down to the dojo to
Barry,
recap the last three
You're the
picks.
best, man. You're the best.
All right.
Love you. Love you, man.
Great seeing you, man.
Appreciate you.
Keep killing them, man.
Yes, you too, man. These are awesome.
What do we got going on down there?
Okay, Tone, let's look at the draft board. What happened while we were talking to the GOAT there with a sweet jacket on? This board's getting thin.
The last pick that we covered was Green Bay, Jordan Morgan. And then after that, Tampa Bay took Graham Barton from Duke, who played tackle for Duke, but they think he's going to play interior O-line.
Right.
And then after that, Arizona went with a need at DN with Darius Robinson out of Mizzou. KC then traded up with Buffalo, who a lot of people would say is a wide receiver needy team. Took the wide receiver, Xavier Worthy out of Texas, who did run that 4.21. And then, as Coach Belichick said earlier, Dallas traded back and still got a position of need at 29 with Tyler Guyton, who Coach Belichick said that was going to happen pretty much.
Okay, well, we didn't get to see any of that because Fox is over there dapping up the entire Barry Sanders family. And I understand that has to happen. Foxy, obviously, massive Lions fan. So we can hear what you're saying. We certainly couldn't see it.
Sorry.
But it's all right. The draft board's getting thin up there.
We're getting there.
Now
Can we talk about Robinson?
Absolutely.
Can we talk about Robinson?
Chop.
Yeah. I mean, this kid's really, again, a great football player, great teammate. Came back to Missouri, could have come out last year, would have been a high pick last year. Came back to Missouri and played more at defensive end, instead of playing inside as a 3 technique. Had a really good year.
He was an edge.
Defensive end.
Nah, he was playing edge.
He was an edge guy.
And this guy is 290-some pounds, strong, fast, tough.
You want to play Mario?
He brings a lot to your football team. We got him.
So we got some defensive guys that are getting picked here. I wonder what the total number will be for offense versus defense in the draft. Remember, 19 was the record. In a way, it started with 10 straight offensive picks. We assumed it was going to break it pretty mightily. I don't know where we stand at with stats. We got caught up in some great conversations there. KOC, Barry Sanders. This has been a great night.
I got it. There it is. Unbelievable. I mean, Barry said that jacket is one of the sweetest jackets that I've seen walking around. There's been some cool shit.
Carl Banks has been doing this since I was with the Giants. So from the mid-'80s, he's been doing this for, I don't know, whatever, 40 years.
Yeah, he's the Bill Belichick of jackets.
Leather jackets. I mean, he designs clothes. Carl Banks is a great entrepreneur and a clothes designer. He does a hell of a job.
I literally had no idea that jacket was a thing.
At all.
I literally just looked over and was like, what are you talking about what you're wearing?
I want that.
Because we just saw the Broncos roll out some new uniforms. They're shit.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
Don't look at him, Coach.
There's some other jerseys that are good. I saw that jacket. I'm like, is this new team apparel?
Yeah.
Because Detroit's doing it all right now. The Ravens are on the clock. Obviously, they bring running back Derrick Henry in to the backfield alongside Lamar Jackson. There's always a big conversation about how much respect you have for Lamar Jackson. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. And we brought in Lamar, spent a lot of time with him. And the Ravens traded up to take him at 32, in 2019. And they built their offense around him with speed receivers and a power running game. And so it's a perfect fit. Coach Harbaugh, Eric DeCosta, those guys have done a great job of building around it. And now, they've added a good defensive corner here.
What? What do you mean?
How do you know?
How'd you know?
What are you talking about?
Belichick.
They're going to take a corner.
What?
Oh, my God. Wiggins. And they did. Nate Wiggins.
They did. Good
wow.
call, Bill. Jeez. That was incredible. Out of Clemson, Nate Wiggins, cornerback, going to the Ravens. Long, fast, fluid. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie is a comp that NFL Network is giving to him.
I don't know about that.
Well, DRC was
call somebody.
DRC was rare.
Hey, Revis then?
Yeah,
Is that better
Terrell
comp?
Revis?
Revis or
No.
Chido.
He's under.
We got some
yeah,
film.
sure we do.
Too
Yeah.
late.
Let's run some film here on the newest cornerback.
Okay, so he
Vino caliente,
weighed in at
vato.
185, but he played at
Caliente,
173. Call him 175. This is not a big kid. He's very lean, but he's fast. He has excellent coverage skills. You want somebody to play man-to-man? This guy is a good man-to-man corner. He sticks to him like glue when he's on. and good ball skills. You can see him high point the ball there. I'd say every once in a while he kind of loses focus a little bit, but this guy can really close on the ball. Here he is again. You can see just great acceleration. And get some BBU there. Good looking play. This kid's a good player. Here he is on top. We saw this play earlier with May, but you just can't be late and sloppy with this guy. He's going to make you pay. I mean, he's got good hands, good ball skills, and he can close space in a hurry. So, the Ravens pass rush. I'd say this is, he's undersized, and so here he is getting covered up on this terror screen. And
proper
that isn't what they got him for. I mean, you got to look at what he can do. And here he is against Devontae, who's a big receiver for Carolina. And, these are the guys he's going to have a little trouble matching up with these big guys. And, Devontae gets him here. He covers them, but, I'd say that'll be the bigger challenge for him. But this guy's a good cover player.
In the Baltimore Ravens, if they draft somebody, that's another team where I'm like, a tough player. Tough guy. Like, that's a tough guy that probably goes there. Like, their culture is a hard-nosed style of football, offense and defense. I think it's a massive compliment to get drafted to some places. The Ravens seem to be one of those spots.
Yeah, they do a real good job. They've built a good football team consistently over, it's going almost a couple decades now. So you got to give them a lot of credit. They're year in and year out. They're tough.
Thus far, 20 offense, 10 defense. I'm being told.
That's the record. There it is.
Okay, so there is the record for. We've passed it, I guess, a couple plays.
True, yeah.
But the Ravens, get better here as we have a couple picks left. Tone.
So we have San Francisco and Buffalo left.
Yep. Buffalo's 32. San Francisco's 31. Congrats.
What does the tackle board look like for San Francisco here?
I'm counting 21, by the way. So somebody check something. What are we talking about? The tackle board?
Getting wiped out. Look at that. Look at all the tackles that we started with, and what's up there is still some depth at receiver.
Yeah, there is some depth at receiver. A.D. Mitchell, Leggett, Worthy's gone. Okay.
Town.
What?
A board can't be fraudulent.
Don't just throw it. Don't just throw it.
Los 49ers.
Place it.
You know who the top corner left is? Cooper DeJean. I wonder why the Ravens didn't take him, huh?
Why do you think that? What's the reason, Tone? What do you think? What are you trying to say?
I don't know. You tell me, D-Butt.
Hey, it wasn't their flavor, all right? It wasn't their flavor.
Vanilla's delicious.
Vanilla's delicious.
Different teams like the different flavors. But,
and I know what Bill was saying, too.
Can we get back to that board for a second?
Yeah, get us back on track, Bill. Thank you. Get us back on track.
Look, this is real now. This is real. We are sitting in a draft room, and here you go, Pat. This is your call. All right. You've got Cooper up there, who's clearly the highest-rated player at linebacker. Clearly.
Oh, up here. Sorry.
Right. All right, and we're gonna skip over. Joe Blow.
What?
All right,
he's a good player. Character. Yeah.
Okay.
Couple felonies. Those felonies. 3 felonies.
And so you've got depth at receiver, so you can take a good receiver, or you've got depth, maybe get a receiver in a second round if you need a receiver. The tackles have been picked clean, so those teams that were thinking, well, I'm going to get a tackle in the second round, it's pretty thin now. It's pretty thin. And so now you're looking at a couple corners. You're looking at a high-rated linebacker on Fields board, some depth at receiver. This is where you go to the best available and
they
say,
probably go
all
with the
right,
linebacker.
are we going to go to a position or are we going to take a highly graded player? And this becomes a real conversation. And if you say, okay, I'm going to take a receiver, maybe you trade back like Buffalo did. Maybe you trade back and say, all right, well, there's a couple guys there I like. I'll trade back and get another pick. I wouldn't say Buffalo is like a rebuilding team that needs a lot of picks, but unless there's somebody there they just absolutely love, which I would say Leggett, to me, is really a good player. I'm surprised he's still on the board.
Right.
I mean, I really like this kid.
So let me tell you, if we're going to talk about it, because we got a Ayuk situation brewing in San Francisco. Yeah. Then Debo's name was thrown into it by Michael Lombardi the other day. Yeah. He was like, well, maybe they end up trading Debo so that they can afford that. And they have Mr. Irrelevant as quarterback, so it's not that big of a check taking its quarterback position. So maybe you do add a wide receiver because you have no idea what the next few months look at the wide receiver department for them because of contracts and salary cap and everything like that. Is that a fair way to look at it?
Well, the only way you can replace money is with, draft choices.
All right, so you like Leggett, you said?
Well, I think he's a great player.
We like Leggett.
Yeah, love Leggett.
We love Leggett.
We've been saying that forever.
Put it in, Raj.
Love his accent, too.
Great accent.
Yeah. Top tier.
He is a fucking country boy to the max.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
A little slow.
You like that one?
Pearsall.
That's not a good
Whoa!
Mario.
Wait, how do you know? How do you know?
Remember, we don't know.
How do you know, Coach?
We don't know.
You already
Let's
know?
go to our draft board.
Wow.
Let's go to our draft. No, you
He saw it.
see it, bro.
Did
Let's
O's
go to
tell
our
you?
draft board. Let's go to our draft
Come on,
board.
O's.
What do you want to look at,
Let's
Pat?
zoom into the wide receivers down lower, though, than the top ones.
Like this low, or?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking.
Above Polk.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. You know, Keon Coleman, hell of a player, too. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll
Might
think
be
about,
him.
maybe they'll think about Keon Coleman.
Florida State, similar colors.
I don't
San
know.
Francisco.
San Francisco likes seniors. Okay?
Yeah, but hold on, though. There's Christian McCaffrey's over there. You bring in Lad McConkey.
Can you imagine the duo?
Now you got the Lightning Whites.
You got to start next to him.
Here's the thing, and D-But, you know this.
Ricky is a light
You
white.
can't play wide receiver at San Francisco unless you will block.
You got to block your ass
If
off.
you don't block, you're not playing receiver
Hey,
there.
mama.
So whoever it is, it needs to be good with the ball in their hands, which Pearsall is, and has to be tough and willing to block, which he'll do.
Oh, you got it right.
It's him.
It
Oh,
is Ricky
no,
Pearsall.
holy shit.
Way to go, Coach.
Look at that
Hey,
catch right there.
48 years.
Nostradamus.
48
dog.
years.
Wow.
Are you O's the mentalist?
Hold on.
Jeez Louise. The Niners obviously beat the Packers in the NFC Championship. They would inevitably lose in the Super Bowl, but they're in the middle of like what could be a dynastic run. Ball goes a couple different ways, but they're good. They're. Add Ricky Pearsall. How do you feel about it, Mad Mel?
Yeah, I like Pearsall's game. Obviously, very athletic, can go high point the football. I just don't understand. I mean, does this mean that Brandon Ayuk's gone? You know, I mean, are they kind of considered? I mean, I know we
You would
heard.
know this, but-
I know we heard John Lynch say, "Hey, listen, I want him to be a 49er for the rest of his career." But does this seem like a situation where they
Wide
could
receiver,
maybe
Florida,
trade
wow.
him and grab a couple day 2 picks tomorrow?
Maybe, but Mel, he's under contract. He's not gone.
Okay.
He could retire. I don't think he's going to do that.
Fair point.
That is, isn't that crazy that we as the media talk about players that aren't happy and everything? At the end of the day, it does not.
Yeah, they don't give a shit if he's
Well,
upset
what
or
are the
not.
options?
But
If
the
you
Bills
sit out,
trade?
it's $30,000 a day in training camp or whatever it is. It's $30,000 a day, so they're not even going to sit out.
What about?
Okay, Panthers are coming up. I'm just telling you, they're coming up for Leggett.
Okay.
They're
Bill,
coming up for Leggett.
From the area, correct? From the Carolinas?
Did he go to South
Is that where he
Carolina?
went to
Yeah,
South
South
Carolina,
Carolina.
but I think he's from there as well, I thought.
What's
If I had to guess, that's what I think they're doing. They're coming up for Leggett.
All right, their new coach. What's his name's escaping me.
Dave
Yeah,
Canales.
Canales. He had the interview yesterday, and Leggett said that Canales said they were going to take me at 33, and Canales
really?
said I told 50 guys that would be interesting if he does go 32.
Yeah, if you get this close to a guy, though, that you've been telling you like him for months now,
Well,
why
you know
not
what?
go
Look,
up and get one?
I mean, here's something to think about. If you think you really got a good player, you have the 5th-year option at 32. At 33, you got him for 4 years.
Gotta jump up
So
here.
if you were coming up to get a player at a highly paid position, tackle, quarterback, corner, pass
Receiver,
rusher,
yeah.
receiver, it's probably worth it. If you're coming up for a center, that doesn't really make financial sense. The player's still the player, I get that, but as far as the 5th-year option, that could come into play here if you think this receiver is going to, is really a good player, which
Well, 5 years from now, there's a chance wide receiver market's $50 million
Exactly.
a year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, D-Bud.
Nah, that's exactly what I was going to say. With what's going on in the wide receiver market, we saw A.J. Brown get another deal today. Who got paid yesterday?
Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra. So, yeah,
Ron,
that
yeah.
price is only going up with receivers.
AJ, whenever you think about the Carolina Panthers, do you think about the GM?
Dan Morgan.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I mean. I'm a little biased. I love watching Dan Morgan play football when he was a player. Now as a GM, this is a big deal for him. Big draft.
You gotta
don't you
have
think?
jump, mommy, jump.
Let's see. New head coach, new GM. What are they going to do? Pick his
That's Bill.
Is it in?
Yeah, pick his
Well,
name.
playing the
Feels like
music.
Bill
Is it
might
in or
know.
not?
well, they got the quarterback last year.
Yeah. What do you think, Bill? Like, what do you do? How do you surround a guy like Bryce Young to try to help him grow from year 1 to year 2?
Well, I think that's, look, that's your job as an organization. Does he need more protection? Does he need a better running back? Does he need a receiver? What does he
All
need?
of it.
Everything. Everything.
I'm gonna say they got about 100 holes to fill, so
But
might as well
look,
start
I
plugging.
wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if you're looking at Carolina's draft board if Leggett wasn't sitting up there like the North Star. Like, we got everybody else down here. There's Leggett. We need a receiver. It's a no-brainer.
Trade up one pick.
And we got to trade something to go get them.
Especially if you think Buffalo's maybe going to go up to get a receiver because, you know, they lose big. Yep.
By the way, I mean, is the easiest way to keep losing in the divisional trade your pick to the Chiefs so they can get the fastest guy? Like, what the hell? What's the thought process there, Bill? Like, during the dynasty, the greatest of all time, let's say, you know, the Colts call you with Peyton Manning, and they're like, hey, we want to get this guy because he's really good at catching passes. Are you making a trade with a rival in your own conference? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I love it because that means the Bills are going to suck again, but still, how the hell do you make that pick in that
Bills
trade?
never suck.
Excuse me.
Come on.
They will fall short again. I didn't mean that. They're not going to suck. They'll fall short again. But what I'm saying is, like, how do you kind of justify making that trade to the Super Bowl champions to make them that much better?
I think you got to start. I think you got to start with your team, and instead of worrying about how you're going to like mess everybody else up, what do we need to do to get better? What helps our team the most? And that's really what you got to do. If you worry too much about trying to mess everybody else up, then like, you know, what are you doing with your team?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but why'd
I
you
don't
do
know
that?
what I don't know what Buffalo's board is. I don't know exactly what their overall strategy is, but I'm sure they have a good one. They've proven that. They're doing what's best for Buffalo. You can't worry about what Kansas City's going to do or what the Jets are going to do, what somebody else. Just worry about what you're going to do.
Hey, you're talking about teams getting better and everything. We got better this year. Yeah. You know why? Because your old ass is here, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You crushed it tonight.
Hell
We
yeah.
appreciate
Thank you.
Coach.
Unreal.
Now,
Hey, well-
you started tipping picks, so
Yeah.
see if
Crazy.
Roger Goodell calls you in that entire thing. But you were awesome here tonight. We appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Well, I tell you what, I enjoyed working with Mel. You know, back in '94, so that was 30 years ago. You know, when Bill Tobin said, "Who is Mel Kiper?"
Right.
Like,
Famous
Mel
line.
Kiper. He knows his stuff.
He knows
That's
that.
right.
He
And
knows
this,
his job,
this
buddy.
one certainly does. Ain't there,
Mel
Roger?
knows his stuff. I don't know about Bill, 30 years ago saying that, but Mel knows his stuff.
All right.
Amen. Good job.
You're damn
Amen.
right.
Thank
And
you, Bill.
So do you, Bill.
Yeah, so do you.
Hey, so Leggett did get drafted to the Panthers. We
Of
just
course.
like every other pick, we had it 10 minutes beforehand because the internet told us, and that's not our fault either.
Nope.
Our show's on the internet.
Yep.
So when the internet is saying exactly what's going to happen, it's hard not to just be like, boom, this is how it goes. But Bill Belichick did it the entire night. So
What did Carolina give to move up one spot?
I think it was a sixth.
A sixth.
Yeah, fifth or a sixth.
Yeah. So, you know what? I mean, if you like the guy that much, that was a Ty Warren pick for me. You got to give up, you just feel like you got to do it.
how many trades did you make while you were GM? 95.
Yeah, I only made 95.
That's it.
That doesn't count the 96th pick I made when I traded with Jimmy Johnson 2 days before the draft because it wasn't a draft day trade.
So
kinda got
96.
screwed. Yeah, 96.
Really, but
Who's counting him?
yeah.
Yeah.
But really,
Not us.
probably the most interesting trade was the Randy Moss trade.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was after the draft, the first day of the draft, because we've been trying to trade for Randy Moss for 2 months, literally. This was like childbirth. I mean, it took forever. And so after the first day of the draft, I talked to Mr. Davis. And I said, "Well, are we going to make a deal or not?" And he said, "Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for your fourth." And I think we were picking like 7th in the 4th round. And so I said, "Well, we got to get the guy in for a physical. We can't take his contract. We're going to have to renegotiate his contract." And Mr. Davis said, "Well, that's your problem. If you want to trade for him, then all right, trade. Then you get it done." I said, "All right." So I said, "Okay." Hung up the phone. This is like 11:30 at night, right after the first day of the draft. I call up Randy. Said, "Hey, Randy, this is Coach Belichick." Boom. Hangs up the phone.
What?
Why?
I thought you were full of shit.
I'm like, let me try this again. Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who's pranking me? Who is this? Bam. Hangs up the phone. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. We traded for you. What? Is this a joke? This better not be a joke. Who is this? No. This is all right. Really? I said, yeah, but look, we got to get this done by tomorrow at noon. He goes, all right, what do I need to do? I said, you need to come up, take a physical, and we need to renegotiate your contract. It was by noon? I said, yeah. He goes, well, I'm in Houston now, but I got a plane. I'll be there.
Nice.
Oh, man.
So he flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning, comes in and takes the physical, the old
Yeah. Make sure he's
98.
alive.
Okay, you're good. We renegotiate the contract, and we're done at 10 o'clock. And first thing he says to me is, "Where's the playbook?"
Oh, that's awesome.
I said, well, "Right here. I mean, you know, we got it. Let's go." He said, "Okay," because when I walk out there with the first team with Brady, I got to know all the plays. I can't go out there and make mental errors and screw up. I got to know his offense. And he was smart, man. This guy was smart. And so I sat down. I watched a lot of film with him. I said, "Randy, like, we never had a guy like you." You know, and he said,
no, you play.
I go, you know, like, on this post safety coverage, this is awesome. He's like, on this post safety coverage, what are you going to do? He goes, "Coach, you ain't going to see any post safety coverage against me." Like, oh.
He's right.
He goes, "You're going to see cover 2. We haven't seen cover 2 in years, right? He's like, "You're going to see cover 2. And he was right. And then he would say, "Well, here's how I'd run this route. Here's how I'd run that route." And I started thinking, like, well, we got to start giving Randy some routes that, like, if we're running this and they play cover 2, how we can move them into the slot. He's like, "Move me into the slot." I said, "Yeah, so you can get in the middle and cover 2. He's like, "All right, good." 25 touchdowns. 25 touchdowns.
And so many.
And opens up the running game, too.
Still got the record.
Unbelievable
But I'm
teammate,
telling you, it
too.
was
Great teammate.
Randy, come on, man. Randy, I'm trying to.
Randy Moss was a beast.
Bill, you're a legend as a coach, legend as a GM, and I think no matter what you choose to do forever, if you remain in television, which we would all be very lucky, you're going to crush it. If you get back into coaching and GMing, we'll all be pumped to watch it. All we know is tonight was awesome, and thank you.
Is there any chance I could be on your show during the fall?
Yeah, like
because
like Mondays?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
It's a good day.
Because look, I was in Detroit. I got fired twice in Detroit.
Okay.
In '76, after the season,
Idiot.
they fired us, right? But then they couldn't get Knox to come, so they rehired us, and then fired us in '77. And so I don't want to get fired here tonight and make it a hat trick.
No, how about you get hired? How about every Monday this fall?
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Hey, how about that, man?
Let's go.
Let's see if we can work that out.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can work
Get
that
a
out.
physical. Got to fight in, you get a physical.
Yeah.
There it is.
Congrats to all the teams making their picks this evening. Congrats to all the players who have their
Every
dream
Monday,
come
that's
true.
crazy.
We're all incredibly proud of you. To all the boys, great work. Behind the scenes, great work, everybody. Tone, down in your dojo. Good
Thank
work,
you,
brother.
Tone. See you, Tone.
Good work, Tone.
My pleasure.
To all the production people that set this entire thing up in this magical space, thank you, thank you, thank you. Legitimately, obviously, there's a lot of moving pieces to this whole thing. ESPN helps out immensely.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we didn't piss off the NFL too much because we got Roger Goodell on the show tomorrow.
Yes.
Live from right here, noon to 3-ish. We're lucky to be here. We're thankful to be here. You crushed it, man. Can't wait to see you in the fall.
Unreal, man.
Boys, great work. Mad Mel, any final thoughts as we get out of here on the 2024 draft?
What a fucking night. You know, one I will remember for the rest of my life. Bill, I appreciate you, not kind of killing my credibility too much. Obviously, you are the GOAT of this shit, but I am,
Mel,
I am the
respect
king of this shit.
I respect your opinion.
I appreciate
We may not
that.
always agree, but I respect it.
I love it.
That's
love
what
it.
life's all about.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
All right, from all of us to all of you, thank you for spending your evening with us. I think it's only like midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Not bad at all.
Way to go, Raj.
Good work, Raj.
Way to go, Raj. We'll compliment him on that tomorrow, and we'll see you then. What's that, Buzz?
Detroit's broken the day one draft attendance record.
Yeah.
Held by Nashville. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
275,000. You were booking Kevin O'Connor whenever I made that announcement.
That's all. No big deal.
Dialed in.
Huge night here, historic night, and I assume the rest of the weekend's about to be fantastic. We can't thank you all enough, all right? Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Hey, team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
Goodbye.
If the draft spectacular over? No way.
Flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning.